That was quick. Into musicable. All right. So I shall share this out over on social media. So if you've got social media, then feel free to share it out on there, as it will kind of increase the conversations in the chat and stuff like that. Maybe we can get some new people on the panel. So it should be interesting. Yeah, we had 25 live viewers last time. So yeah, the channel seems to be kind of growing. But yeah, let's just put it out. Okay, put that out from there. Okay, so we've got a notification. I'll have to see what that is in a minute. Honestly, I don't really look at my notifications really hardly ever on Twitter. I think because I used to get into like these like threads or whatever, and it just seemed to go on forever, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. Because I'd just be debating in these frigging things. It's just like, what's the point? So I just kind of ignored it all. So I can't be bothered with this stuff. Well, who's got time for that? So I just didn't pay attention to it anymore. So let's just put the link out on some groups on Facebook. Maybe someone will see it. All right, I'll get to the chat in a minute. So let's see another group. I got H1 Henry. How you doing? Digger Morningstar. How you doing? Obviously, I've seen you over the other side anyway, so I'll be putting the link out. So if anyone wants to come on and have a chat, then I'll just drop the link into the side chat. Let's just see what this notification is on the Twitter, because maybe it's some kind of response to what I sent to him or something. Let's have a look. Oh no, it was just someone else. I think just someone else that had liked me tweet. So it's 18 years since 9/11, and people still believe that Arabs with boxcars crashed into it and melted through the steel. Yeah, I suppose it don't really make sense. Crashed into it, like I suppose should have put crashed into the building or something. I don't know. Yeah, right. So I put my put headphones on in case someone joins. Be back soon. Need to do a dog walk and do a walk with the dog. It's good here. Dagon. All right. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit then. Well, would all four corners give way at the same time? I don't think so. 9/11 was staged. Yeah, well, there's someone said about the what was it? Someone was saying that on the as a reply to a thing on Twitter that what was it that the steel wouldn't have to melt because the heat would weaken it so it wouldn't support the weight. Okay, cool. If that's what you want to believe, I mean, yeah, I suppose at some point it would become weak, and then. But when you look at the footage of it, and there's not even a collision, there's none of that. It just goes right through it like it's just going through a, something really like it's going through. I don't know, like almost liquid or something. Definitely doesn't look like an actual collision to me. All right, you join in then, Stephen. Well, just click the link then. Click the StreamYard link. I mean, anyone that wants to join, just click that link I put into the chat. Oh, here we go. All right.
Hello, Jamie.
All right.
Yeah, you?
Yeah.
Wish I was there.
What's that?
What's that? Oh, my back is absolutely gone.
Oh.
This week. I haven't even been to work.
What's happened to it?
It's the disc in my back. It slipped.
Oh, that's no good.
And it's killing me. And I walk and things like that. It just hurts. I can hardly walk. So what's everyone been up to today then? Apart from nothing.
Yeah, not the right lot, really. Just been doing streaming and stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So we're doing it weekend, Jamie, out and out?
Not that I know of.
Well, as long as you're okay anyway.
All right, yeah, right, thanks. Yeah, so we got H1 Henry. How you doing?
You right, guys? How you doing?
Your mum's coming on anyway.
It's not too bad.
Good, good.
Your mum's listening anyway, Jamie.
Yeah. Yeah, so what did you want to come on and talk about then, Henry, in particular, or?
Oh, well, it's up to you. Whatever the conversation is. What was this? You did a stream earlier, right? What did you talk about? I missed it. Oh, you did one today, right, or not?
Well, I've done one this afternoon, and I also did one just before this.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, whatever the conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I just heard you talking about 9/11. And
yeah, well, I've just been going on about that stuff because I posted something out onto my Twitter, and then I got a response that steel wouldn't have to melt or something because the heat of it would mean that it wouldn't be able to support the weight above it, something like that. What do you think about that?
Say that to the 3,000 architects and engineers that signed the petition.
Yeah. I actually sent him your video.
Oh, really? Well, that was Building 7 I was talking about, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's still kind of like...
That one was... that one was just Building 7, but it's the same principle really with the other two, just the way the buildings feel, just defines physics really. So
surely they should have like had it more thought out rather than like, because they would have had a lot of time to, I suppose, prepare for it and figure out how it should fall.
Well,
Well, I guess it's almost impossible to not make any mistakes, is it?
There's no way of without a controlled demolition that you could knock the building down, though. So, do you know what I mean? It's like, have you ever seen the structure of it when it was built? The pictures, and the thing was solid, mate. Both of them were solid. The actual towers, and and the way that the building fell at such a speed, they had to, it went down too fast, the floor didn't hit one another and go clap, clap, clap.
Yeah,
clap.
so it's like it was completely empty, like.
It just completely went clap, 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 like, do you know what I mean? As if like free fall, basically. And that was because like each floor basically gave away because it was, well, I believe, my opinion, there was a controlled demolition. So it's like, I had someone saying to me yesterday, because obviously it was the anniversary.
Yeah, it was the anniversary,
yeah. And they were saying to me, I put a post up about it, and they were saying, someone said, there were empty buildings. They were all empty. And I was like, well, like 3,000 people like died, like almost. And he was like, yeah, no, they just lie about that. There was no one in the building. And I was like, well, prove it. What kind of like claim is that? And he was like, oh yeah, this is like the government just lie about everything. I was like, well, if you work it out, there's 50,000 people that work there. They had over 100,000 visitors every day. Like 3,000 people isn't a lot. And if you remember, they couldn't get down the stairs or the escalators. Sorry, either one, because that's the bit they had to take the building down, like by demolition. They had to block them areas, and there was like can't remember the science of it, but yeah, I just think there's like conspiracy theories, right? And then there's just people that say silly shit, right? And it just totally muddies the water.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think making these kind of. I mean, even if there is some truth to what some of it is, that what they're saying sometimes, that if anyone that's not really looked into it, then they're just going to think that you're crazy, like tinfoil hat wearing.
Exactly.
But you just got to just stick to what you can prove.
Because there's people that say, there wasn't any planes. That I just think like I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I believe there was planes, but it's one of them. It's just like.
Well, yeah, people say they've seen planes, and then some people say, oh, well, those people either just kind of saw some kind of hologram or they were lying or whatever.
It's a bit nutty, isn't it? You know what I mean? You've got to listen to yourself.
Yeah, I just don't think there's really any need to make any of these additional kind of claims. It just
unless you've got hard evidence, which 9/11 is one of the conspiracies that we can easily prove by by science. You know, their story doesn't add up. You know, you've got all the other stuff that comes with it that makes it a bit, you know, like really fishy. Like you've got the $2 trillion that went missing at the Pentagon.
Yeah, just like conveniently, just like the day before, whatever it was, and they just happened to crash into the thing, So it was like maybe they just did that as it was maybe like some way to cover up the huge kind of scam or whatever that was going on. But then some people will say they did it because it was to try and the whole kind of war on terror thing, whatever you call it.
I believe that, yeah. I thought it's probably a bit of both, you know, but two birds.
Yeah, maybe because if they have like the best thing to do is to have one like kind of whatever you call it, hoax or whatever, false flag, whatever, with like multiple kind of like motivations or agendas behind it, because that's more efficient then, isn't it? You don't have to have multiple different things to do multiple things. Basically you're able to like not only create like this war on terror, but also you can at the same time rake in a lot of money, I suppose. So
that's it. You've got to look at the bigger picture. And you think, like if you look from what happened after and the continuous wars from that, the never-ending war on terror, because it's just there's just one like a boogeyman at a time, that they prop up. And you think like that might have been 3,000 people that died that day, right? But you think the war on Afghan and Iraq, from that lie, there was like 1.5 million people died from a lie, from that. It just gave them an excuse. Like that's what a false flag is, really, isn't it? It's just an excuse to push their agenda.
Yeah, it's like the user scapegoat, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you say, there's other motives as well, because the rich people are profiting out of it. You got who's the other guy that I think one of them, the one with Building 7, he put an insurance claim in not long before Building 7 went down, not long before the attacks, and he got a big payout for Building 7. Little tiny little things like that have you ever seen the documentary from I can't remember what it's called, from Everything's a Rich Man's Trick, I think it's called.
No, not that. No, anyway.
I can't remember the actual name, but it's a long name, and it's basically it's basically just pointing all that kind of them things out, that who profited from where. And it's got to the point where you I don't know, how old are you, Jamie? How old are you?
24.
24. Right.
So how old are you then?
I'm 30 this year. So I was about 11 when the attacks happened. Well, I was 11, going on 12 almost. And it, I actually saw it on TV. So it's one of them we're getting to a point in this the next generations, and they don't really give a fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I was 6 when it happened, but I don't remember it because I don't have that many memories from that kind of period.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I do have some memories before that, but
yeah, and it's kind of one of them events that really shaped what's happened, beyond it. like in a massive way. And that's kind of like what set me on my path of awareness, you know, realizing 9/11, realizing that I've been lied to.
Yeah, it's just see this thing in chat. So, come on, Henry, this is Jamie you're talking to. You ignored the ISS footage for years, still isn't sure that if that 24/7 stream is a fisheye hawk. So, well, I don't know, maybe that is kind of like, I don't know, I've never been up there, but I mean, it looks like, I mean, people have spotted that there is summit up there, like the ISS, so I have no reason to like disbelieve that there is some kind of thing flying up there somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of beyond my knowledge, all that, you know. I don't know what's up there. What, you know.
Well, it said to be like 250 miles up in it, that ISS thing.
Yeah, you can apparently you can get like an app or something, and you can see like when it goes past you.
Yeah, and you can like kind of like corroborate the weather and stuff with something like that.
Yeah.
But then there's people saying that the weather doesn't match, but I've not really seen if that's true or not, because sometimes people make stuff up, or they've kind of they've missed something, and they've kind of
misinterpreted,
miscalculated something or whatever, and then they kind of just sometimes people off one miscalculation they end up going down a completely wrong path.
This comment from this guy, Skeptic Media. You don't know much, mate. You're plant-based, brain shrinking. Well, come on here and debate me, mate. We'll have a little.
Yeah, he's not exactly for veganism, to say the least. Be interesting if he could actually go on and yeah, I mean, it's open discussion.
Instead of like, you know, throwing shit, seeing what sticks, mate. Well, we'll put in the comments.
About that 9/11, Jamie. Yeah.
Just put in the comments why you think.
Don't make me come on, Henry. Well, if you don't want to, then fine. You don't seem like you want to come on, so
we can we can go through it one thing at a time, you know.
One bullet point at a time.
We'll slowly walk through it. Triggered.
Baby steps.
It's triggered because I don't cause animals. Well, I try to cause the least harm to animals as possible. My brain's shrinking. Well, oh yeah, so you, Jamie. I forgot, and you're vegan. Oh, sorry, that guy's gone.
Yeah, Stephen's just dropped off.
I couldn't hear him that well.
Yeah. Apparently he's kind of tired, so.
Oh, right, sorry. I'm just pointing. You got another comment there.
Yeah, like 99%. Like I think try and like keep that 1% just with everything, because there could be some kind of caveat that could.
I agree.
Like throw everything out that you believed in. Because at one time they all thought that they needed like some kind of animal product for like protein or something. That's been kind of debunked, hasn't it?
That's totally, yeah. That's totally
yeah,
debunked.
to say the least. It's kind of debunked. I mean, it's absolutely been debunked.
Absolutely.
But I was thinking like, because apparently, like, I mean, I'm not I'm not saying this and it goes against veganism or anything like that. It's just I was just thinking about the protein and how you get the amino acids and stuff, and how there's some more in like it's like you get it in varying quantities and stuff. So
yeah. Well, there's actually the full protein in everything. It's just like,
but you need like a certain amount, say, of like one, and then it's like, well, I suppose I was thinking, well, because you could just like, if there's an excess of one, that you would probably need to use that to make the other amino acids anyway. So I suppose it kind of all balances out anyway.
So it's like because at the moment I've been the past couple of months I've been going to the gym, so I've been trying to put on the weight and have a high protein, and it's like so it's easy, mate. It's so easy to get adequate amount of protein to grow muscles, right?
Yeah, there's really. Yeah, like pretty much everything has it in, but the thing is, in like some fruits, it's very low.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Don't get me wrong. Yeah, animal products are very high in protein. You know, it's just a fact. It's but also as well, having a high protein diet isn't actually healthy. It isn't actually the best thing for you. Isn't optimal. You know, like like bodybuilders and all that. That's not really like the healthiest lifestyle. You know, you're basically pushing your body to an extreme.
Well, yeah, because of all the like what the extra mass or something that's
the abundance of food. Your heart's still got to work. all that,
Yeah. I was just wondering if like there's some benefits to having some like muscle like versus having none. Like, is there health benefits to having some?
100%. I meant like you see like
like really big like Eddie Hall or something. Well, that's not even muscle. It's like fat.
If Eddie Hall carried on the way they can't do that sport for a long time because they'll just die. Like,
a lot of it's fat though because they're not trained to be kind of
but they have to be
athletic.
Fat, don't they?
Yeah.
He's saying, "Come on, Karen. Let's see how good you look." We should see me when I was a meat eater. Rotten teeth.
What's that? Rotten teeth?
Question mark. Going bald. I've got the same hairline for 2 years. Shrunken brain. I can't exactly measure my brain, so see how good I look. What kind of like anecdotal evidence is that anyway? Like, it's like,
well, the thing with the rotten teeth thing, as long as the bacteria is kept there.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, sorry, but in my when I was younger, I never looked after my teeth, and I've had loads of root canals, and I've got loads of mercury in my mouth, and I hate it because how bad it is for you. But since I've been vegan, like, I haven't been to the dentist. The only time I went to the dentist is when my cap fell off and they just glued it back on. One of the metal caps. I've got one of them in the back that always falls off, like, because it's just in an awkward position. But yeah, like my teeth, I fucked my teeth from I wouldn't say it's from. I'd just say it's from a bad diet in general. Just when I was
like processed food and stuff.
Yeah, when I was younger, sugar and fizzy drinks and yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason why, if you was to lose hair, right, if people lose hair, it's because they're not eating enough calories,
Well, it'd be probably the protein because there's isn't there a lot of like protein in the hair or something like?
He said, "Yeah, cap fell off your head, can't even spell head, because of the protein shrinkage." All right, mate. All right, mate. The
Yeah, I'll never use
brain
that.
shrinkage. This is like this was. It's just like ad hominem attacking it, you know. It's not an actual, not an argument.
Yeah, there's not any actual like
Not an argument. That's what I'm just gonna keep saying. Not an argument.
stuff to back it up. It's just kind of it's just words.
Fucking hell, I wasn't exactly Brad Pitt in the first place, mate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Brad Pitt. Yeah. Well, the whole looks thing anyway is like a subjective thing. So
Yeah, it's like and it's anecdotal as well, isn't it? Where'd you get your B12, mate?
oh, as they saying that
Yeah,
now, yeah.
I get it from bacteria. That's where I get my B12 from. And I had test results, blood test, full panel of my blood work done not long ago, and everything was above range. Giving money to big pharma. All right, mate. You give your money to big meat. Still not an argument against veganism, though. These are just like level 1 carnist arguments.
Yeah, like where do you get your protein?
Like
Where do you get your B12?
local farmers. What's a local farmer? Do you know what I mean? What's the difference? Like fucking from someone next door to you.
Did you see that guy called
you can have
Jacko Wacko or something?
Yeah, you could have a factory farm next door. Do you know what I mean? What's that? A local farmer? Do you know what I mean? It's just a silly comment. Or Jacko Wacko.
Yeah, because I think because didn't he have some kind of issues with his digestion or something? And then he kind of fell off veganism, and then kind of
ironically
started to argue about if it's local or something. I didn't really follow him after.
Local stabbing.
Yeah, local stuff. Yeah, he came out with some funny stuff. Really, I was surprised that he like dropped off that because he seemed very passionate about it.
If you noticed when he had a picture of what's his name?
Tim Sheave.
Yeah, and the back. Yeah. And then he was really upset in the video when he quit veganism.
Yeah, and he switched it to Gary Yoski.
And then not long after, he joined him. Like, he just like proper like idolized Tim, and I think he was just influenced by Tim. And you know, we went through Tim.
Well, he came up with his like story, didn't he, about how he was, you know, that we'd wake up and he'd almost, you know, not get to the toilet in time or so. And,
yeah.
But it's like when you listen to it, he was going on about all like the alcohol abuse and everything. It's like
yeah, he had basically So that guy said he's going to get back to me. Apparently, might do anyway.
What you say he's going to get back to you?
Yeah. I don't think he's run out of level 1 kindness arguments. And the other guys, I don't know why I'm reading your comments.
So Theodore says ethics is a minefield. Later, people take care and do your best. Well, yeah, because some people say it's subjective and it's all to like your own personal interpretation. But I suppose in a way that could just justify anything like rape, murder,
You can get like
pedophilia, that kind of stuff.
when it comes to ethics, you can get really like autistic about it, you know. And it's like I follow a few YouTubers and like that dive in deep with like philosophy and you know, yeah, it's good. It's a good old. I enjoy them kind of debates, watching them ones. Like people that are a lot rehearsed in philosophy and
Yeah, just like different like sides of like the coin or whatever, you know, like.
But like I've always liked watching the debates, you know, because it's like it's not an echo chamber. Then you know you're getting. It's a conversation, isn't it? It's a
Yeah, because you get these like religious people where they'll just be like zealots, and then you get these kind of like atheists, and they kind of act the same in a way sometimes. So it's good when they can kind of all come together and hear each other out and like respect each other's views and stuff.
Someone asked if you're jealous, Jamie,
Jealous of what?
of Skeptic Media.
He says he's met Dell twice this week. No, I'm not jealous. No, not at all. So how did you get to meet him then? Well, I think he would have probably just met him once if he'd have punched him. Skyfly, right? I mean, you wouldn't meet someone twice and like, I mean, if you've met someone once and they punched them, probably not gonna see him again.
Did you meet? Have you met Dell?
Not Dell, no.
No.
I'm just trying to think if I've met anyone that's met Dell. Don't think. I'm trying to think of that.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of, but he used to have meetups, and I think one of them got like nearly 60 people or something.
Yeah.
Well, one of mine I think counted about like between 40 to 50 people. So I mean, it was like it seemed like it was all blowing up, and then it seemed to start stagnating after a while.
Do you think that kind of stuff's dying out, or?
Seems to be, doesn't it? Because I remember that like when like stuff like Globebusters where they were getting like 1,600 watching and whatever, and then now they're not getting that. They get like less than 1,000 or whatever. So yeah, and like Dell, I don't think he's probably getting as many. He still gets quite a lot though, but probably when he gets shouted out from Eric, he'll get a few more viewers. So like
Does Eric?
Go on.
Does Eric still? I'm just looking at his page now. Because he had to start a new channel or something, didn't he?
Yeah, it happened twice, didn't it? Because I don't know if he was around back then, but he had. It was the end of 2017 when he'd.
Okay.
I don't know. Was you not around back then in this whole thing?
Well, I don't think I was ever around with it.
I mean, as in like, well, you were just in Dell's, weren't you? So
yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you, yeah, I've never subscribed to Eric or anything, so I just know that I don't know how. I think I was through people on my Facebook. I found it out, but I did enjoy one of his videos. I did come across was why everyone's leaving YouTube.
Yeah, Chris Hayes. Yeah, I've met you. So you met Dell then? Oh yeah. So you must have met Dell then or something. All right. Yeah, I've actually met him twice actually. Chris Hayes, because I met him once February last year and then in October last year as well. I'll put the link in again. If anyone wants to join. So you say you've been going to the gym then?
Yeah, just started. Well, not just a couple of months now, I'd say. But I was really skinny. Like when I joined, I was as skinny like as a meat eater. You know, I just didn't. Wasn't very active. I was very active as a teenager, and when I become an adult, I would just, it was just work and smoking weed. I didn't.
Yeah. So did you start like adding more calories in it or something?
Well, yeah, well, you just got like anyone who wants to put muscle on, you have to eat more.
Yeah, because that'll be the mistake that a lot do is where they think that they're just gonna magically start building muscle without eating anymore.
Yeah, whether you're a meat eater or not, it's the same. Like it depends what your goal is as well. Some people, if you want to lose weight, you want to be in a calorie surplus.
Yeah,
Is that
calorie
right?
deficit.
So yeah,
Yeah,
deficit.
calorie
Yeah.
deficit when
The
you're
wrong way around. Yeah,
burning off more than what you're putting in.
yeah, and my goal is to be in a surplus. Sorry, and
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So, but I was thinking about the fat consumption. But I mean, I suppose if it's not too much, then you'll burn some of the fat off anyway. So yeah,
what we talking about exercising or just in
I
general?
mean, just to build some weight up, like.
Yeah, well, you just gotta eat, mate.
Yeah, that's it. It's
As
just
simple as that. And it's because you're used to your body's like it's a clever machine. So, like,
yeah, it's like
putting on,
elastic and it can
yeah. So putting on weight,
adapt to the.
is it's kind of unnatural, really, for your body. So that's why you got
I
like
suppose, yeah.
force feed yourself. You know what I mean? Like these
Yeah, like
bodybuilders.
when you feel like satiated, you go to keep eating more.
Yeah, because your body's like, yeah, I've had enough now. But if you want to put weight on, then you've got to, yeah.
Yeah, because then the stomach will stretch on it, and then it'll be able to accommodate more food. Maybe it's better to like eat constantly throughout the day if you're doing that, perhaps, because then you're not.
Yeah, you like bodybuilding that they
Yeah,
eat every like 2 hours and that or something, just so it's
yeah,
easy on your stomach, easy on your digestion.
yeah. Just like constant snacking or whatever to,
Mm.
and plus then it'll probably give you like a maintained energy level then as well, won't it? You won't have like spikes in your blood sugar and then drops,
Like food coma.
because that's what happens when people do exercise, like if they're on the bikes and stuff, and they do that thing where they call bonking or whatever, where they or hitting the wall or something, and they can't
Yeah,
go any further, and they just run out if they've no food left or whatever. Yeah, it's the worst thing that could happen, especially if you've got a long way to go.
yeah. I things I have to do things that I enjoy. When it comes to running, and I just don't enjoy it. Like people love it. People have got a passion for it. You know what I mean? Like that's why I felt I started going to the gym because I enjoyed it, and it was kind of as well. I like wanted to prove prove myself wrong, be healthier, you know, prove to other people that you can build muscle by being vegan.
I was just wondering, like, because you get these vegan bodybuilders for the sole purpose of, they say, well, like hence herbivore.
Yeah.
If I
He used to
build as much muscle mass as
Yeah.
possible, then I can save more
Yeah.
animals
Good
from the
advert,
slaughterhouse.
he
But the thing with that, though, if you're jeopardizing your own health, then I don't know. It just seems a bit kind of like it's like
he used to be
I don't know. I'm a bit kind of. It's
yeah.
like, is there what? I know. Yeah, if you want, you get what I'm saying. Like with the, I suppose that's kind of like self-sacrificing. But then again, he says that he is kind of health conscious, so he's not.
Yeah, now he
Um,
is. But he didn't used
like,
to be. He used to be on steroids.
yeah, so it's like it's better to, not do that. And so when people go on steroids and they, like, apparently they get like thyroid issues or something.
Oh, you get many problems.
Like hypothyroidism or something.
Yeah.
Because
There's different
because it
types of
stops
steroids.
working. Because there's
Yeah.
different types, like the what you call anabolic steroids or
Yeah.
whatever.
So they all come with their different issues. Have you ever heard of Nehemiah? Can't remember his surname.
What's that one?
Nehemiah Delag. Oh, what's his name? Delgado or something. Can't remember his surname. He's
I think.
he's a vegan IFBB pro bodybuilder, and he's never eaten a piece of meat in his life. He's born vegetarian, went vegan.
Yeah. So it was like eating dairy products.
And when you just believe people, and he says he's never taken steroids, and I believe him. I really do, because he when you start lifting at a young age, do you know what I mean, and put in all the work for years and years and years, you're gonna be like big, So
Yeah, you don't need to take them then, do you?
well, yeah. Well,
Because what steroids is just a cheat, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, no, it's kind of it's pushing. Yeah, well, it's like pushing your body beyond this natural.
Performance enhancing drugs.
It's not a road that I'd ever go down. Well, I'm coming up to 30 now anyway, and I've only just started going to the gym really not long ago, so it's not something that I would.
It's just like when they take adrenaline so they can run faster and for longer and stuff.
What's that, like Olympics or?
Yeah, like when they do. It's like, I think they do it. Wasn't it like? Was it? Didn't Lance Armstrong take it or something?
Oh, was he that a drug thing? Yeah, he was on steroids.
Yeah, he did. So, what was it? Steroids he was on. It was on summer. It was on summer anyway. It was on some kind of performance enhancer anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, got caught, didn't he?
But it's like he actually. The thing is, like, even though he got caught and everything, apparently he made like a book out of his. So it's like he was able to profit from the, being caught out or something like.
Oh, really?
So some people can make. I don't know. I think that's what. I'm just sure it was him. I think it was him that. Yeah, he apparently made some book, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that.
Made enough money before, and like he's like everyone thought, like, because he got cancer, didn't he, and then overcome it, and like everyone respected him and that, and then he got caught on the roids. Yeah, he was like one of the best cyclists ever or something, isn't he? Blood doping, Chris says.
Well, yeah, it was doping. There was this doping scandal, wasn't it? It was some. It was some kind of drug or whatever that they were taking to enhance the performance.
Hmm.
Yeah. But there'll be so many more that's been doing it that haven't been caught out. So
Oh yeah,
the issue is that is it really fair to kind of get the people done for doing that when there's all these other people that have haven't been caught out for it.
It's the risk you take, though, isn't it? It's like, and then kind of like most of like the athletes are fucking on drugs, mate. Most of some kind. Do you know what I mean? Most of them, most of the best, like even in the UFC and that. Nate Diaz says it all the time. He's like, everyone's on drugs here. He's like, if you test me though, all I've got in my system is weed. No, but Nate Diaz. He's not vegan, but he eats a plant-based diet when he's training.
Just when he's training.
Yeah, and which is basically all the time.
Well, there's that Novak Djokovic. So does he just do it when he's training, or is it like?
Well, the thing
all the
is,
time.
he's on it all. He's eats a vegan diet, but I wouldn't call him a vegan because I don't know if he like wears like leather shoes or do you know what I mean? Like when it comes to his other lifestyle. But
Yeah,
you got like Lewis Hamilton, who's like full on like vegan. I'd say he's even doing like tweets and things like that, like about veganism now and becoming more and more open about it. And he's both of you just mentioned Djokovic, best tennis player in the world, #1 at the moment. Lewis Hamilton, arguably the best Formula One driver in the world.
Yeah, some people argue that they've basically built up the success off eating meat, and they've just basically that's what the counter to that, isn't it? With the
Yeah, but it's like if you say that, surely their performance would drop.
it'd be like a decline, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't take very long if it was that detrimental.
Yeah, and they say they're thriving and that, you know. These are top athletes looking for their best, you know, like take like not Lewis Hamilton because he's thinking about the ethics, but say like Djokovic, he's doing it for selfish reasons. He's like, what's like if a carnivore diet, all meat diet was the best for him, I'm sure he'd do that. Do you know what I mean? He's doing whatever he can do to be the best. It's like that's why some people take steroids and that and doping because they're doing whatever they can do to be the best. And get one up on everyone else.
Well, yeah, that's it, and it's just a way to kind of outshine everyone else. Yeah.
Did you see Jennifer's comment?
Oh, hang on. What just now?
Well,
Let me look.
couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, I think I've heard something about there's supposed to be some really cold like thing happening, but it's usually just some hype thing, and then
Another beast from the east.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty like beastly, I guess, but it wasn't like
That wasn't last year. It was the year before, right?
yeah. Well, it was like at the beginning of last year or something, wasn't it? So
I didn't even get snow last year in Essex.
well, this what you mean last winter or the winter before? Which one do you
Oh
mean?
yeah, I'm talking about I'm getting them muddled up. I meant actually last year. No, actually this year. Sorry, this year didn't get snow. It's weird because I don't see it like that in my mind. I'm like,
Yeah. So what do you think about like second-hand leather and stuff like that?
Well, I wouldn't buy it. You know, I don't have an ethical problem with it though. I guess it's one of them. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like, they
don't-
call it like grey areas and stuff. Like,
yeah. Well, it's to be honest with you, you know, it's like it is kind of ethical because it's like well, that's just going to get chucked in a landfill anyway. You know
yeah,
what
it's
I mean?
not. It's, someone's got to use it. It's the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
And
So
then
you
you've
might
got the
as
other
well.
side of it that it's making wearing leather look cool. It's like even people argue they shouldn't even get vegan leather because people might mistake it for the real one and then kind of go out and buy leather. But that's really unlikely, though. I think
Yeah. Like
it's like saying that you're having you know, like a vegan burger or something, and then someone think to go out and get a real burger or something. Yeah.
it's funny because like the football boots. My brother plays football, and most of the I think most of the boots now they're not even leather. When I used to play, they were all leather. You know, they've got like just synthetic materials not because of ethical reasons, just for practical reasons. It's and you know, like these you see them like winter coats. They've got like down in like what's it called? Canada Goose and that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What's that?
Like Canada Goose, the jackets.
No, I'm not familiar with that. If I'm
They
honest.
well, they got like a down, like feathers, like in the coat, and then they have coyotes like fur on the hood, and they cost like you see them if you might see them about. They're quite popular in the winter, and they're really expensive jackets. But even in like the army and stuff, they don't even use that anymore because it's not actually practical. Like when that gets wet, it actually makes you colder, and it's like they have like synthetic fur even like in the army and things like that.
So it's just like more like insulating than.
Sorry.
So it's like more insulating than
Well, it's actually
the
it's
real
actually
stuff.
better. Yeah, and more practical. But we just got these we're conditioned to think otherwise. We're conditioned to, like when I was a kid, like I'm going to school and that, my mum would be like, "Yeah, you've got to have like the real leather shoes from Clark's so they last longer, you know, and they're better for you know, and it really wasn't like the case. Last 5 minutes anyway." That like you always get like the common like theme is like you think like when you get fake leather, you think it's not. People think it's not going to be as good. People think, oh no, it's not like the real thing. Like I think like leather's like a quality material.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Is it hot where you are at now? Is it hot today? Sorry.
Hot? No, it's not been really. It's been it's been a bit rainy here. It's not at the moment
Really?
though, but
It's really nice down here.
apparently down south it's been good.
Yeah, we had like 20,
East.
25 today.
All right, yeah, it's not been like that at all here.
It's really
It's been rubbish.
hot. It's like
It's crazy. Like it's not that far away, and it's like
yeah, I wouldn't want to live up north.
grim up north.
Yeah, I'll just look at the weather now. It's 20 tomorrow, 20 Saturday, 23 Sunday.
Yeah, it's saying here it's like 16 tomorrow, 18 Saturday, and
Can't
then
do that.
14 Sunday.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Jennifer's asked you if you're coming Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to like see what's going on, but yeah, I should be able to do like one of those days. I guess I'll have to find out what I'm doing. Yeah. So what's this about steroids or something? The guy that won the powerlifting with new Commonwealth something. Commonwealth records on each lift in 1990. Told him he was on gear or something, and still uses steroids now. Is a mess. Ruined at 50.
Well, we get to a point when you're on gear, like your body doesn't produce testosterone anymore, so you have to like basically either stay on testosterone, like stay on the juice, or you have to go to the doctors and they give you testosterone replacement therapy, which is basically just enough testosterone to have a normal level. So basically, like once you go and have like abuse steroids, you have to like basically abuse them for the rest of your life. You rely on them.
Yeah, it's like when people become diabetic and rely on insulin. Well, when they get type 1, I mean. They're supposed to be able to reverse like type 2 though, but
with healthy eating, right? The
people push the keto or something.
Oh, mate, like I've seen.
But then it's like they don't get that, you know, that not all carbs are like equal and all that.
Yeah, mate, that's been like. Don't even get me started on that keto.
Because there's that. Have you seen that channel called Dr. Eric Berg?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's got some pretty good stuff on it, but I think because his agenda is like keto, so he's kind of got that kind of.
He's not even a doctor.
Like, yeah, I mean, that just gives himself that name.
He's a chiropractor.
Yeah, well, is it what you call it, a practitioner or whatever? So you can call yourself a doctor if you're kind of.
Yeah, but it's like a misleading, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because people might think he's like some sort of.
An actual doctor.
Like yeah.
And the amount of stuff he gets wrong as well is just like, fuck.
Which stuff's that then? Like about the carbs, you mean?
I just like just from like watching response videos. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think probably Vegan Gains has fucking done streams on him, and yeah.
Well, apparently there was that.
Oh, no, cholesterol. When his claims about cholesterol and things like that.
Well, yeah, that you need to like have dietary cholesterol or something.
Yeah. One of the most compelling things for me with veganism was the fact that the only diet ever to not just reverse heart disease, prevent like heart disease, but actually reverse it, actually unclog. Do you know what I mean? And reverse heart disease, like, and no other diet has ever proven to do that. And I thought that was like amazing. I thought it was like really like compelling. And I thought but yeah.
Well, I saw this thing, you know, like vegan foot soldier. Is in that channel.
Yeah.
Because apparently he had like he did a response to Dr. Eric Berg or something, and he apparently threatened to give him a strike or something.
Yeah.
To take the thing down. It's like, well, yeah, this seems like kind of
Yeah.
Like censorship to me, that.
See, sometimes I really like being a foot soldier, but sometimes I'm like, oh, God, I don't know what it is
Well,
about
there's
it.
sometimes it seems a bit cringy, like when he was trying to show his games or something like.
Yeah, but he
Kinda-
like really bad when he was eating meat. Like he's
Yeah, no,
always
he said that it's like since he's. I think what he was trying to argue is that that it's only now that he's been able to make any kind of even small amount of gains.
he has weight issues, and the thing is, like, he fucking rides a bike for like hours a day, and then don't eat
Yeah, it's
enough.
going to be difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, to put on, because that's what Hench Herbivore was basically trying to say to him. Like, well, if you want to put the weight on, you got to do some weights, eat more, and less riding. But he didn't want to give up the riding. But
Yeah, there's like going to be sacrifice if you're trying to train for one thing, you're going to have to like do less of the other. Yeah.
I just seen an article. It says a vegan company buys 15,000 acres of Amazon rainforest just to protect it.
Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere like the other week.
Oh, really? Is it old news?
I don't know. I think it might have been a few days ago, but
Oh, right.
I think I've seen that one before.
Have you ever heard of Logan Blake?
Yeah, I saw you on there before with it was someone on like, going on about
Was
like
it the
these
rabbits?
like that. It's like so what do you think about me
Yeah,
eating them because they're
but
gonna like
he said about him
what is it?
destroy. He changed his argument. He definitely changed his argument in that. When I look back at it, because he said like he was protecting his crops. It wasn't even protecting his crops. It was other people's. It was just like what like it's
It
basically
was like there was inconsistencies in his like
yeah.
argument, like
But yeah, like
I don't know.
Logan's got about the same amount of subscribers as a Foot Soldier. He's probably got like 14
Yeah,
or so.
they're kind of neck and neck, aren't they?
And,
But I think Foot Soldiers needs to get more views though. I don't know, like
oh yeah.
I think because like Logan Blake's a lot of his subs are probably like inactive now.
Yeah, they what they called like Logan's basically like he's a character, and like he put a video out today basically saying like he's gonna like step away from his like usual content. His best content was usually like the hangouts anyway, because he'd always like have a debate and start a debate. And it was like, I think that's what his best content was, but in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I remember there was that thing, wasn't there, the Foot Soldier and was it Ask Yourself? They kind of
Yeah.
bumped heads.
See, Ask Yourself's another. He's a. I've got no problem with. I like Ask Yourself. I've subscribed to Ask Yourself, and but he's not the best socially. He's very clever and with like philosophy and that. But well, I say that I don't know. I think he's. I enjoy watching Ask Yourself. He's probably.
Yeah, well, I remember it was like arguing how that there is no kind of such thing as free will or something because everything's all it's what is it? It's like you have no control over like what you think or something like that.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That's kind of a. I suppose that's when you get into like the philosophical stuff is to
Yeah, and that's
the
well beyond me. It's like
workings of the brain and
yeah. That's why like sometimes
yeah.
I enjoy watching him. Sometimes it's a bit too much, but
Yeah, too like deep and stuff like
yeah.
that.
But I think he's good for veganism. When it comes to ethics.
Yeah, it's just like the because if it's you have no control and it could give like like say justification for like certain things in a way because I think that's just what they were kind of talking about that he still thinks that they should be still held accountable for what they've done even though they technically would have no control over it but yeah it was kind of like
One of them debates.
interesting. Well, it wasn't even a debate. It was just it
sorry.
was. I mean, there was like a few people in a panel, and they were just having a discussion about the ethics and about some of the grey areas and things, and things like the backyard eggs and stuff like that. I mean, I don't really have any like objection to that myself. I mean,
well, it's where you buy the chickens from firstly. So you're buying them from the industry, which like they'll give you the females, but they're always producing male and females, and the males are going to be killed straight away into a blender first day.
Yeah, I get all that. I mean, I'm more
So,
something about like it's come from like some like it's just come from like around the corner somewhere that's
okay.
someone's got a chicken or whatever and it lays an egg in your backyard or something like that and it leaves it.
But it's also
covered in eggs and stuff.
Yeah. But these chickens that we've bred into existence, they have so many issues, and a lot of times they actually eat their own eggs to.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, so it's like taking a lot of their. It's like taking something that's not yours, and they.
So I've thought about that. But then you could also. I was thinking something like, so I was going really deep with it, like that. Let's just say there's some kind of like something on your piece of fruit or whatever, and then you have to, take it off. So you kind of taking its piece of food or whatever.
You think about fruit, it's the most ethical thing, really, because you've got like an apple tree, right?
Yeah.
The apple will fall off the tree. It will be given to the earth,
Yeah.
And then you'll eat that apple, right? Say like back in when we was gatherers, we'll be eating the apple, and then I just throw the apple, right? And then the seeds grow another tree. And it's like I'm actually doing like it's like a cycle,
Yeah, it's like they offer themselves up to you so that you'll
if you
eat them because you when you eat the seeds of undigested part, whatever, it comes out and then it germinates the soil and grow more.
Apparently, vegans bore me to death, says Chris. How can you live? How can you live with yourselves?
What says sharing love and truth? The only thing a flat earther hates more than the globe is a concave one. Daily dose, anyone? All right, so we've got a concaver in the chat.
Is human? Sorry, Chris is saying, "Or is human death okay?" When do I ever say that? When do we ever say that? It's just like it's like. Right, I don't know.
What's he referring to? Is he on about the?
I don't know.
Abortion thing or something like that.
Yeah, that's another subject in itself.
Yeah, that's another thing in itself, isn't it?
It's like it's so weird because it's like talking about veganism. It's just like the knee-jerk reactions. What about abortion? No. Bacon, no.
Protein, no.
He said he's just having a laugh.
Yeah, no, just like bit of banter and
Yeah, you're okay, Chris. So what are you saying to this guy, other guy? What's he saying?
yeah, some concaver in the chat.
Is he actually a concaver?
Well, he was saying like that. Well, I'll read it out again. The only thing a flat earther hates more than the globe is a concave one. Daily dose. Anyone?
Does that mean he's actually a concaver? Or?
As far as I can tell.
I think concaver is like it's just. I think it's utterly stupid.
The thing is, though, like I can see there's certain arguments for it. Like,
Come on, no.
I mean, not arguments for it, but like kind of like there's things that to me can work on a flat Earth, but it could work on a concave Earth. Like you could fly around the concave Earth just like how you could fly around the globe.
Well, how though? You surely you're going the other way.
Because you'd just be going inside of it, wouldn't you? Instead of
Yeah.
on the outside. I mean, I can kind of see how it would work, but a lot of the observations wouldn't really match up for me anyway, unless well, they're saying that there's this glass sky that kind of
No.
like refracts the light or whatever, and it's just there's a lot of like
It's fucking ludicrous, mate. Like honestly,
hypotheses that they kind of come up with.
It's fucking like I'm not even gonna like flat Earth is one thing, and then fucking hell, mate. Like concave, I just like.
Why is flat more? I mean, why is like flat not as kind of
Well, fucking
ludicrous?
Because like I don't know, that's just my opinion, like perspective. I just think it's just like because the flat Earth is more like when people argue for that. I'm not a flat earther, just for the record, but they're like yeah, water's. What's Dell say?
Water finds its level.
Yeah.
Water always finds its same level.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the whole
arguments are like.
Well, that's kind of like an argument. Well, some might argue that's an argument from incredulity or something, because it's like just because it looks flat on that scale, you don't know what's going on a larger scale, and
like Chris
unless
said,
you can measure it on a large scale, then
like
you
Chris
just
says,
have a small section that you
you have to get like the fucking size of the ocean. But Chris says, look at the sea curving up, said no one ever. Do you know what I mean? It's exactly my point. Like, it's fucking. It baffles me. It does. It baffles me. Maybe I don't understand.
Well, they argue the light's actually bending up to make it look like it's.
But then if you're gonna,
not bending up, it's like.
It's madness, mate. Honestly, I don't believe either. So that's just my opinion. He says, Jamie's open, still open is good. Yeah, mate, if you can prove me wrong, I'm open to it, mate. If any, but it's just, I haven't heard of any arguments, really.
What for the concave side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, when they met these, it's like because I heard have this argument for like when on some days you see further, what they're saying is the light's. Because when the light's bending up, but it's bending up at a less of a rate, so it's kind of allowing you to see further. But that's basically just a reverse engineered globe.
Yeah, okay, maybe, but it makes more sense that like we can. I know this is not proof of the Earth, you know, I know, but when you're looking at other planets and their moons are like revolving around them, it makes more sense that that's happening here as well, rather than.
I suppose just like kind of.
I know that's it's not an argument. I know that.
Yeah, because some say it's like because like the red herring fallacy and all that, but I suppose it's just a kind of indicator in a way.
Yeah, it kind of makes more
Yeah.
sense to me. That just like, yeah, obviously it doesn't prove the shape of the Earth. You know what I mean? I know all the arguments. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but I'm just not convinced. But at the same time, like, it's I'm not like solid on one ground. I'm not going to be like, right, yeah, 100%. It's a globe. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know. I'm not. This is basically it's a leap of faith and a belief, you know.
Yeah, well, people have these equipment called like auto levels and theodolites and stuff that supposedly they measure this drop in the distance. So if you've got, say, a height of 1,000 feet, and then you've got the height of 1,000 feet, but it's 30 miles from you, and going to the globe, it would drop by 600 feet, and then so the top of it should be 600 feet lower than your height, and apparently they get it pretty close to. Usually it's around 500 or so, because they say, well, there's some refraction bending it a little bit. So,
all right.
So like when you basically level out the device, then what it should be doing is it should be striking through it at that same height on a flat Earth. That's assuming no refraction, though. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of anomalies in that. I mean, I'm not. Basically, I'm not.
it all gets very kind of like
technical
because the different things happen on different days. And
yeah,
it's almost impossible to really work out what's going on exactly. So I can appreciate that
it's one
unless
argument.
you actually get up there and actually look, but then it's like you could argue that even if you got up so high that you'd have to you can't actually see the entirety of a 3D object anyway. So you couldn't even you couldn't even see the 3D-ness of it because you can't see the back side of it. You would have to actually go around it to see it.
One argument I don't get why I get is flat earthers will always, well, not all of them, not the. That's a bit of a weird way of saying it, but some people will say, like for instance, Dell will be like about the environment and gas.
Oh yeah, gas pressure or something.
Yeah, so basically, like, you know what I mean, and you've got to have an enclosed. It's got like be enclosed, yeah. But the thing is, like, we know, like everyone knows that it gets thinner as you go higher. You know.
Yeah, the gradient.
I've been to the top of a mountain, and struggled to breathe. You know what I mean? It's like surely.
And I think that a lot of them kind of. We've got Jin CBO1 in the
chat. And Dale goes, it goes equilibrium, like the gas equals in if you had gas in a fucking box, whatever, it would like be equal in the box. It wouldn't do that, would it? I don't know. I'm just like asking, and surely we can see we can see it makes sense for it to get thinner, like because we know it gets thinner and thinner as you go up. So it makes sense that it just fucking runs out, right? And it's like none.
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, basically, what determines why things would fall down, such a way, and then why is it that as you go up higher, it's less dense. What's making that kind of down that direction and up that direction, like to me there was a force at play to
Exactly.
create that kind of bias.
Sorry, you're
So if there's some kind of force, then maybe that force would mass down. So you just eventually get to a point where just run out. Just gets to a point where never get kind of like a very small amount of matter. Just stay like that kind of. There might be some kind of matter up there that's kind of because they talk about dark matter. I mean, I don't necessarily know if that's true or any of that. Maybe it's like what some people call the ether. Maybe there's some kind of medium that's holding everything together, like, and allows light to travel. I don't know. It's like
so yeah, it's crazy shit. Isn't it? It's like
so a lot
whatever,
of it's still speculation to this day.
yeah,
Though.
whatever it is, right? It's fucking crazy. Whether we're fucking on a rock flying through space, or if we're on a fucking flat infinity flat plane, or if we're in a fucking concave Earth, it's fucking nuts, mate. Life's just fucking nuts, mate. It's fucking crazy. It's like just the fact that we're here and we're in fucking
It's
meat skeletons, dry fucking. You know what I mean? It's like it's nutty, mate. When you really think about it, it's fucking. Crazy.
it is really. It's like we can all like agree on that. And
I just think like I just try and be because I haven't had like been the best person in the past and whatnot. I just got to a point in my life where I just want to grow as an individual, you know, and improve myself and be like, you know, and go down that kind of route.
yeah, I was saying saying earlier how you kind of have to be selfish in a way to help others because you got to be really sort yourself out and then you can be of service to other people.
Exactly. By the way, Libras are the best. Someone Libra 61 star coming in, going to be in Libra season.
Well, that's I was thinking we were on Libras. No, it's actually kind of it's still Virgo, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, it's still Virgo. Yeah, just have to wait a few more days for it to get into the Libra.
It's going to be Libra my season.
Wait, that's when you was born then?
Yeah, I'm October 11th. Going to be 30 this year, mate. Getting old.
Yeah, the big 3-0.
Getting old.
Yeah, you're gonna have like wrinkles and.
That's my vegan diet, mate.
Yeah, it's the vegan deterioration.
I'm really bald.
Maybe you'll end up in like Swearingen's epitome of malnourishment.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I fucking wish I was in one of the videos. Then I could do like a reply. They'd be like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just like destroy it or something.
Yeah. You'd be on his one.
I am Swearinge. And
hi. People, these vegans don't get the nutrients.
These vegans don't get
nutrients.
They sick because they don't have raw meat.
H1 Henry, his brain is shrinking. He cannot see this because he's deluded in the religion of veganism. His hat fall off his head. What did that guy say? all the people were sat in their star sign.
I mean, you probably don't like that vegetable police, but it was funny when he did the like impersonation of him.
Yeah, or put a wig on and that. A long time ago, though, when they right.
Yeah, that was a couple of
Yeah,
years. So, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got a blonde. Well, I haven't. I borrowed my mum's wig. She doesn't wear a wig, but she's got. I don't know why she's got a blonde wig at home, but I put it on Geocentrism video. Hi. Veganism is the new world order diet.
Yeah, that's it. It's the new NWO.
Yeah, you seen that the documentary done?
Slave diet or whatever. What you say documentary?
Huh?
What did you say?
Oh, with the NWO one.
No.
He done it. Yeah, he's got like a. It's like like an hour and a half video of veganism, NWO diet or whatever.
Oh, I thought you said NWA. Oh,
No, I'm not
what
NWO.
you on about?
Did I? I probably did.
NWA.
I can't remember. I was reading the comments.
Yeah, well,
I'm just a well balanced Libra, okay?
so yeah, so we got
Always look on the bright side of life.
so NWO. Yeah, I've seen. I think I saw that because Jake the asshole had actually mirrored that video, and I think there was a point in it where it was going on about the like the Venus flytraps and stuff
Well, yeah,
like the carnivorous plants. It's like, well, some plants are carnivorous too, or something. It's like, what are you gonna do now?
yeah, such a weird thing to be like. It's like fucking lions rape each other. Should we do that as well?
Well, yeah, it's a kind of like people say like this.
Dogs
like,
sniff each other's asses.
fallacy.
Yeah, dogs sniff each other's fucking bumhole. Should we do that? Like in this guy, yeah, he said, "Sharing love and truth." It's an interesting comment, right? Yeah, the mind never ages, only the body, right? But I kind of don't. Is that true? Because like, I look at my nan, bless her, she's got dementia, and isn't that the mind like deteriorating or?
You could say that it's like going in reverse, that it's going younger or something, going back to like when you're a baby or something.
Or maybe like it's weird. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Like, because I've got a lot of spiritual friends and that, but things like that make me makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just that when they got like Alzheimer's or dementia, it's like they just seem like a shell in a way. Like they're not like, yeah, because my granddad died of like dementia, and it was not good when in the last few months, really.
Yes, this is sad, isn't it? So the mind is linked to the body linked breaking down isn't the mind breaking down. Maybe you're right, mate. I just thought I'd ask that question because I didn't know. There's always something that made me think of it, The mind is not within. You are not you, right? You reside within. What about Alzheimer's? Isn't that basically the same as dementia, right? Alzheimer's.
Well, it's like isn't it like a kind of form of it? I don't know exactly.
I thought it was
I
just
kind of
like,
get confused as which
Yeah.
one, what the differences are and all
it's probably a difference. Sad, isn't it? Fucking all my mercury in my teeth, man. I'm probably gonna get one of them. And my vegan diet.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know that Sperry is like everyone keeps like commenting on his like hairline or something. What was he saying in response to that? No, he never really kind of. I don't think he ever like says it about his hairline, does he?
I like to wear the bandana to cover up the hairline.
To cover up the hairline.
You sound like a vampire. I come to suck your blood.
I come to Saki Saki.
He actually does suck blood though, doesn't he? He's
Yes, I drink human blood.
yeah. Yeah. I see a video, right?
He did it on camera. Yes.
Yeah.
Mad.
He did it. A fan sent him blood, right? He drinks the blood, and then he says, imagine if that was a baby. Like, is it saying, like, imagine that was like a baby's blood. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, because you know, like some people say that people drink like baby's blood, like it's like a conspiracy theory that like the elite drink like blood to stay young.
Yeah, there's this like we call it immortality serum or whatever. This
Yeah. And he was like basically talking about
adrenochrome or whatever they call it.
that's like,
Yeah.
mate, it's like, mate, you're off your nut, mate. You say that though, like fucking what's his name? The one that died quite old. Is it Rockefeller? He had fucking like
Oh yeah.
six fucking heart transplants or something, didn't he?
All right. Yeah, so it's like, you know, like some people say like how it basically like these people can be like some people can be really fit, and then it's like in their 50s or 60s they have like heart attack and die.
Yeah.
And then you got someone who's like in the 90s that's still living, who's like
Smoking.
and like eating a really bad diet and.
But I think a lot of that is like genetics as well.
Yeah, that's it. You know, so
It's like,
but,
are you gonna gamble on them genetics? But it's like,
yeah, it's like you can always try to do like the best really with what you've got. You shouldn't like use it as an excuse to kind of.
well, it's up. Well,
Yeah,
it's kind of like free choice, really. That's
yeah,
where,
it's personal choice, isn't it?
yeah, that's where I think, like, you know, do what you want, like to that extent.
Yeah.
But when you start harming other people or other beings, then that's when, you know, there's a problem. It's like the to do unto others what, you know, you'd have like done to yourself, basically, innit? Like, just don't be a dick. Like, if you want to smoke, drink, do whatever, as long as you're not harming anything else. It's like a natural law, isn't it? It's like a
Yeah, that's it.
universal law. Yeah,
Just thinking like because like there's grey areas and stuff like.
Jennifer knows about the Libra life.
Oh, hang on.
She knows about the Libra life.
What's?
We're the best. We're the best. Best out here. Just kidding.
yeah, so talk about like what you call it, the rescue eggs or whatever. So you said you like that's kind of so it's not really a good idea to eat those then.
I think it's not ethical. No. So.
Yeah, because like you're saying with the way that they've been.
Just imagine, like, you're the chicken, right?
Yeah.
You lay eggs, right? And sometimes you eat them eggs, yeah, to stay healthy, and whatever the fuck you think about them eggs, and then someone comes along and it's just like, cheers, mate. Every time you lay an egg, and it's just like it's basically you're just looking at the animal as a product, you know.
Yeah, it's the same. I suppose it would be the same with milk as well when you're milking a cow and
milk.
you're taking like
the milk industry is like is easy. It's easy to say it's unethical because it's if anything it's worse than eating meat really, because you're to produce the milk. Firstly, like you have to impregnate the cow. Let's grant the fact that it happened naturally, yeah, and you know.
Yeah.
So basically, if they don't, they get falsely impregnated. They basically get hand up their fucking.
Yeah, and I've seen stuff on that. It's
basically
really
like,
horrible.
It's basically rape. It's like a sexual harassment, you know.
Yeah, it is.
And impregnating them as well against their will, and then so that happens, and then the calf's born, and that calf gets taken away from its mother straight away. You know?
Within 24 hours.
Yeah, and then you take the milk that was meant for the calf, and if it's a boy calf, it'll die straight away. No use to the industry. That's going like veal. You know, like veal. People eat like baby cows. That's basically what veal is. And then you've got the whip. Well, if it's a woman, a cow, it'll be go round in a cycle of being a dairy cow. They impregnate them like up to like 5 times in a row, depending how long they can last. And then they have in the industry they have what is called like a downer, like a cow that's basically down and can't go on anymore because through so many times of just like being pregnant and like unnatural.
Yeah, just like exhaustion. Or
yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then once they're no good to them, and that happens, that cow goes to the meat industry. So if anything, it's a lot worse a life than just a normal cow, you know. Fucking. You see like the videos of like the mother cows like crying and howling for days once their calf's been taken away from them.
Yeah, so stuff that. But then it's like you could argue that if you had like your own farm and you're raising them yourself and you weren't forcing them to impregnate, and what do you think about that then?
Huh?
Like if it was like raise your own cows and stuff, you know, they weren't being forced to be impregnated. It was just happening natural. And
well, we still it's still exploiting animals, right?
Yeah, it is in a way because you
still have to
taking what's like meant for the calf, in it. Yeah.
Basically, once we get past this, I believe like veganism is not looking at animals as a product anymore.
Yeah.
And how we can exploit animals because we don't need to. And it's like we look at it like that when we just do like it's like if any form of it is like it's basically like slavery. It's not. They're not. You know, none of them are natural. Like when people like they argue against veganism and they go, oh yeah, that's not a natural diet, blah, blah, blah. None of these cows exist in nature. None of these chickens exist in nature. They're all bred into existence through like dogs, how we bred dogs. Like till we got we bred chickens to have bigger and bigger chests, into this unnatural shape. And cows, that things like cows do exist in nature, but not the cows that we have on the farm. They wouldn't it's just not. They're just like what's the word? Bred to be like that. It's like it's not natural really at all. Like these chickens wouldn't last 5 minutes in nature. Like
Yeah, they have to be in some kind of like enclosure, don't they?
like
Then there was this argument that, well, if you stop like eating meat, then what's going to happen is
that's a good comment there.
they're going to like kill off the animals or whatever.
Well, it's basically right. If you look at it as we breed these animals into existence, okay, to eat them.
Yeah.
Right. So the more and more people go vegan, the less we breed them into existence. Okay. So it'll be less and less and less and less and less. And I'm sure it gets to a point where everyone stops eating meat. Like there's a couple left, or there's a few, however many left, thousands or whatever. And I mean, we've got sanctuaries already for animals, like farmed animals. People are already looking after them, so it's not like they're going to go extinct.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to be going to like...
Yeah, and even if they did go extinct, to me, arguably, it's a better solution. We created this problem in the first place, and it's like that argument was like, oh, but they wouldn't be alive if I didn't falsely breed them and then kill them. It's kind of a weird argument. If you imagine that with people.
Yeah, because it's like being bred for all that.
Yeah. It's like
they're probably better off not being.
Yeah. It's like me saying to I've got a group of people in my garden, and I breed them and then I eat them. And I'm like, and then you say that's wrong, Henry. And I go, well, they wouldn't be alive if I didn't do that to them. Keep them in my basement.
Yeah, keep them like kind of in an enclosed space, and then just like end their lives. Just yeah. Yeah, it's just all like it's interesting to kind of get into like.
No, there's a good comment I saw was animals are just livestock. It's literally like just
because it's stock is to do with like
business
market, isn't it?
And when farmers and that, they don't actually care about the animals. They want them to be in good health only because it's a product. It's like
it's like with the because like you have the free range eggs where it's like there's this like happy egg company that happy hens make tasty eggs or something like that. So it's like they're selling you that kind of thing for somehow you get because of they're happy that they're going to be tasty eggs.
And then you've got like when people go, where'd you get your B12 from? Well, we inject cows and sheep and all that with B12 anyway, because they don't get enough themselves. Yeah. It's like you might as well, do you know what I mean? Skip the fucking animal. But there's so much, mate. Like it's like, what else was gonna say? I forgot where I was gonna go with that, but yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, there's no one else gonna join. Like, I mean, we had Stephen on briefly, but no one else came on.
Even this guy says like you don't even have to be vegan to realize that cow's milk isn't meant for human consumption. It's like it's
Yeah,
we-
that's it. It's the. It's funny like that. People like spinach, like the vegan diet isn't natural. It's
sucking on a cow's
but
tit.
then he'll drink like milk from
A
like
cow's tit.
cow, and it's like how is that natural?
It's not normal, mate. Like
His arguments are just so inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's like
70% of the world.
contradictions.
70% of the world is actually lactose intolerant. Where it's more like Asia and stuff like that, because like the Western world actually had like dairy farming and things like that. Like our bodies like tolerated it a bit more, but it's like because after you breastfeed from your mother, it's natural for your lactosis or whatever the word is. Like basically like something you produce to digest.
Oh yeah, lactase, isn't it?
Yeah. And you stop producing it. But we in the West, we basically carry on like with milk from a cow, and then people, and then your doctor will be like, if you're struggling with milk, you'll be like, yeah, you're lactose intolerant, and really, you're just not a fucking baby cow, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but eventually, if like they continued with like the milk, then I guess that everyone could become tolerant to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's not even
that
like,
would be forced though, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be through nature.
Yeah, and you think of the word tolerate. It's like I tolerate it. It's like you tolerate a fucking toddler. It's like
It's like it could become gluten intolerant or something like that. But
tolerance is like a weird word. It's not actually like
it's not like it's just like that you're putting up with someone, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's not like it's not like your body wants it. It's like it tolerates it.
What he's saying, one of them saying, man did not bring the cow into existence. No, what I meant is cows did exist in nature, but the cows that we eat don't actually exist. They're not natural. Well, they do exist, but
I thought
like
they did have quite a bit of dairy though in the east, though, like places like India. They eat quite a bit of like milk and stuff like that.
Well, because they're mostly vegetarian, aren't they? But
yeah, but they do eat a lot of dirt. I think they do eat a lot of dirt, like cheese and things like that.
Yeah, imagine so. But
stuff.
if you look at the statistics, it's like actually 70% of the world. It's more normal to be lactose intolerant than it is to.
I've heard about that. It's
but especially like countries like probably India and like in England, you don't really notice it because like we're one of the countries that like had dairy industry for hundreds of years or whatever. Don't know how long. But I'm going to shoot off anyway, Jamie, because I've got
all right. Yeah,
some stuff out of work tomorrow. But
right.
Thanks for having me on again, man.
Yeah, cool. Yes. So thanks for joining me.
No problem. And see you later, everyone in the chat. Peace out. See you later.
Yeah, peace. All right. There's no one coming on then. Well, I'll put the link in again if you want to join me. I mean, if no one comes on, I might just finish up a bit early. Yeah. Don't know where everyone is tonight. It's like I couldn't get in contact with Lee yesterday. I think he might be having a bit of a break or something. I know Tom's kind of doing his fasting thing. It's going to be that great for him if he's doing it for 9 days, but yeah, we'll see. I'm fixed to cook a steak. All this talk about cows making me hungry. All right. Well, I could have had like a different stream, like Google Hangouts or something. I'm not going to set that up now though. But for some reason, Japan won't let him on. So like, Tom starved himself to death. I'll have to see his, because he was doing a live stream of it or something? But yeah, you can only go so. I think you can only go so long with it. You probably start losing weight and stuff. You don't really want that, especially like he's not. He doesn't look like he needs to lose any weight to begin with. So I hope he doesn't make himself ill or any of that. Everyone has lactose intolerance. It's just a myth, a hoax. I don't know. How you doing, Paul Curran? Good to see you. No, that's a long fast. If I want to starve myself, I'll become a vegetarian. Well, I suppose if you're a vegetarian, you can still have like eggs and milk and stuff. So you can easily get like a lot of calories and stuff and things from that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, things like cheese and stuff, and butter, and I said eggs. I mean, it's not meat, but it's an animal product that you could still eat if you're a vegetarian. I'm doing okay. Goal 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. I guess I could just finish it up now or something, because there doesn't seem to be anyone joining. And yeah, as for Jin, I mean, yeah, I'm not really meant to give him passwords because really it's actually Lee's channel, so it's really up to him. If he wants to give him the password, then that's his choice. Stan Sim. So do people still think the Earth is flat? Well, some people do. I was thinking it for a time, but I've kind of come around to think that it could actually be a globe, or maybe it could be the inside of a globe. I don't know for 100% certainty, but yeah, I mean, there's people that actually do think it's flat. All right, yeah, take care, Libra and Ben. Um, all right, well, yeah. So take it you think it's a globe or something like? Yeah. I mean, I just don't really want to like. I mean, people can just believe what they want as long as it's not affecting anyone in a negative way. Then I don't see the problem with it. Oh, mix. All right. Okay. I didn't know he was there.
I didn't know you had to invite us in. I thought I was straight on, so I was talking away and there was nobody there.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was there. I didn't see your chat or anything.
I've been
I was
listening.
like,
I've
all
been
right.
busy.
Oh yeah, just like been.
Yeah, it's like I'm on doing something, so I was just listening in the background, you know what I mean? Like struggling a bit to get it on. So I'll have a chat with you.
Yeah, Ben's saying in chat, Jamie, it's flat, self-evident. And then Stan said, but Jamie is smart enough to see that that's not true. Libra, lol. Alright.
I think everybody's just convinced of the whole thing, isn't it? The whole world's like that, so just let them get on with it.
My mum
Like Jed's
said,
saying,
Jamie, was your hay fever better this year? Yeah, I would say so.
what do you mean by
I think,
better? More
I
intense?
mean, no, I mean, unless you love having hay fever or something like that.
Yeah. I had a
Yeah,
really
who
good
would
one
love
this
having
year.
hay fever? Like, as in, like, yeah, better in that it wasn't as bad, like, it wasn't as intense, it would seem. But then again, that you could argue because we had that summer last year that it kind of all came at once. So, but I hardly got any this year really, in comparison to some other years before. So,
What do you think makes people prone to that? Like, why is some people affected and others are not?
not sure. Some might say it's down to genetics or whatever, but I don't know.
Strange, like particles of pollen.
Diet or something? Could it be?
It doesn't seem right, does it? That something so natural should
Yeah,
affect
like
you.
pollen. It's like because I don't think it's really the pollen itself. I think it's like everything else, like environmental toxins and things, and the stuff that they put in the food and everything. Possibly, it could all just be a combination of factors. And during
Well,
that
do you know, like,
season, everything's like in overdrive. It's just kind of
well, do you know when you have like a restricted gene pool, and it has negative connotations, doesn't it?
oh yeah,
So in the same way, like when you clean everything and everything's spotless, you're not getting them little bits, the things that we would say was dirty or filthy that you build an immunity up to, that probably have beneficial effects upon you. Not, you know what I mean? We all look at it
yeah,
like germs is bad, kill them. Because some people live in filthy conditions and they're healthy as anything, aren't they? You think how like you should be dead. Like the stuff you've got, like mold growing on food, you're eating it and stuff.
yeah, because they're probably more like healthy than a lot of people. That their immune system's a lot more active and
It's used to
work.
coping with it,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but whereas most people, it's like in this sort of with all the sanitation and everything, it's like the immune system's dormant.
Because it doesn't know what to do with it, does it? It's never sampled it before, so it's like brand new. Whoever's had it,
I mean, that's
tasted
why
it all
people
the time.
say
I was
they
like,
do like the vaccines and stuff because they need to give you like the illness to like they give you a little bit of it so that your body can fight it off or something like.
I don't really think that's. I don't see how that works fully. I can see how the theory works, but I don't see how the thing works. Like develop the disease so it doesn't do the thing that it normally does, so it doesn't harm you. And then you build an antibody up to that. So it doesn't got the harmful thing in it, really, as it doesn't.
Yeah, because you'd have to be getting the full dose of it, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah, like if you get a disease, you don't get it, the mild form of the disease, you get it, it multiplies in you, and then you deal with it, don't you? So.
Well, unless they
And
say
you're
like
also-
you just build immunity to like, but like just a little bit, and then it just kind of gets you a bit kind of ready for like the. But it's like it's such a small kind of like dose that it would probably hardly make any difference whatsoever to the.
Well, do you know if you
Yeah.
take the flu, that's been a big killer of people, hasn't it?
Yeah, apparently.
It's had its epidemics in the past, like in Australia and stuff. And flu's caused by animal to human disease transfer, isn't it? It's like when poultry and cows and stuff are kept in close
Yeah,
proximity.
like what they call swine flu, and then you got bird flu, and you got whatever.
So it's not really our flu, is it? It's their flu, but it's passed on to us through us probably eating it. Because I never get a cold since I've been vegan or a flu or anything.
Well, I have actually had a couple of colds since I went vegan, so I don't know. Might be that some of the food choices, like, because you can still
Yeah.
have some rubbish food.
I mean, you can get a runny nose and a little bit of a dribble, but I don't mind like a full blown cold where you feel it.
Well, you get runny nose when you like, because you get basically get like mucus building up and stuff.
Yeah, you can get that in the summer, can't you? Runny nose.
But yeah, you can get it any time. I get it a lot if I do exercise, and then it just kind of like pours out basically.
So there's loads of diseases, isn't there, that can kill us? Like Legionnaire's disease, and stagnant water.
Yeah, there was that listeria thing, and that was something to do with meat consumption, and apparently it was in the hospital or something. And so it's like ironic how it's supposed to be it's somewhere where they like save lives and stuff. Yet, it's actually the uh, yeah, where someone actually got a disease and died.
Well, I watched a thing years ago, and it was remember the series 60 Minutes?
So what?
Do you know the series 60 Minutes news program? American thing.
Don't think so.
Right, it's like a big top news program in America called 60 Minutes. Been going for years. And the one I was watching was on about how it'll probably be a disease that wipes mankind out because it's mutating at a terrible rate. This was years ago when they were saying it. And there was this woman who had something wrong with it, and she was on loads of drugs, and the illness was getting worse. And they took off the drugs, and she got better because they said the drugs, the disease had mutated to feed on the antibiotics that they were giving her. So when they took the antibiotics away, the disease died. Well, if you're not a chemist and you're just the one administering the drugs, and it's like the AIDS thing. If you says you test for HIV, which might be a thing, but it might all have it on and off. If you test for it, then they start administering drugs to cure the disease. It's the drugs that's killing you. That might be the case with that woman, but if you're just a doctor and you don't know how them drugs work, you jump to your default unsuspicious mind of this is the drug to treat that, and now I've took her off it, and it's the disease that's mutated instead of it's the drug.
Yeah,
I'll explain that. Do you know what I mean? Because you can say it's whatever you have a preconception of. If you're going into suspicious, you could think, well, this drug's killing the person. She never had the disease. But if you're a trusting doctor, you're going to just surmise the logic path from where you are, aren't you? And say it's the disease that's mutating.
yeah. Because if you already believe that in the HIV/AIDS thing, that, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've heard there was this kind of testimony that it was a hoax or something, but I don't know. I'd have to look more into that thing about it.
Well, that's anything where if you in America, it was a certain when they went across the state line, people that were getting tested negative on this side were coming up positive on that side, and vice versa. So the HIV might just be a thing that happens, like acid alkalinity in your blood, just for instance, and they found a drug that can just give you a reading negative or positive, and then they start pumping the drugs into you, and it's the drugs that's killing you. Then they give you weaker drugs and say the drugs is making you last longer. Now they're more powerful, you can last longer on them, but they're still costing you, aren't they? You still have to buy them because it's a money.
So what you're saying
Yeah.
is that they've basically flipped it. So instead of so it's like they're saying that the drugs are stronger, but that's actually the opposite. That they're actually weaker and they're not.
Yeah,
They're not like damaging you as much.
yeah. So I say to you, you've got a disease. I start poisoning you. Well, I don't want you to die. I want you to be around longer to pay us more money. Then I give you the weaker drug and say, look, you're getting better, and you keep paying us money for these, probably more money for these drugs because they're better.
Yeah,
And I put less of
yeah,
these.
more money for the less potent drugs or whatever. Yeah, that
Well, it's the same
sounds
with everything, isn't it?
kind of plausible, I guess. Like,
They do it in every other aspect of things. Like when you buy something, it might be the first model out. Everybody raves on about it, and as time goes on, they just find ways to make it cheaper and sell it to you as if it's better.
yeah, it's like when you get these, like if you have like the Gillette, shavers or whatever, and what they'll do is just before they bring a new one out, they'll start making them more blunt or something. And so when you get the new one, you think, oh wow, this is so good. It's like, so yeah,
It's
that's
all
like a
about
way
money.
to, yeah.
That's all it's about, money at the end of the day.
It's just about tricking you into. I mean, it's just a.
Well, it's like I make you a car, I make it all by hand, I manufacture every bit, I make it beautiful. You say that's an amazing car, you check it all over, it's amazing, you think that's great, I like the car. The next model I bring out, we're going to get the cheap parts from cheaper and still make it look the same. I add them cheaper parts, but keep it looking the same, so you don't know the difference. But then I'll say it's lighter. I use the things that it's creating as a negative to make it a positive and sell it to you for more money.
Yeah, so it's like it's had some weight reduction as well.
Yeah, like the car thing does it under like Porsche. You pay 20 grand more for something that has thinner paint. It doesn't have a metal badge, it has a sticker as well. So he's saving grams, like titanium wheel bolts. Why don't you just lose a little bit of weight and save yourself 20 grand? You know what I mean? Because the amount you're saving is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they might put like it's what is it? All of the parts are biodegradable. um,
Well, look at the carrier bag thing at the supermarket. The bags were thin and flimsy and they were free. Then they says to save the plastic thing, we'll give you bags of 3 years, but nobody ever goes back over them bags, Harry. They just end up in a bigger, thicker drawer and making more pollution, don't they? If you print the bags 3 times as thick.
Hmm.
A bag for life and all that. Well, you got to be carrying about every time you go in the shop, haven't you? It's going to work.
Yeah, because it's like well, it used to be like 5 pence. Well, it used to be free, but then it was like 5 pence a bag, and then it's like 10 pence a bag or something, which I think is absolutely absurd.
I just say
Well,
sugar tax.
yeah, well, this like bag, so like you pay for a bag, and it's like, so you'd
Well,
have to
drugs and
like
all.
carry bags with you.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you go to the shop because you need to go there, and then it's like it's not a planned thing. You just go, don't you? Sometimes because you're near it. So a lot of these
Yeah, and
still
then
end
you
up
just
buying
end up
more and more
being
bags.
like being robbed basically.
Oh, we
It's
robbed
not
all the
like
time.
it's not as though you have a choice to get a bag or not, unless you. It's like if you can't carry everything.
But that's some stupid questions on the. Do you want a bag with that? It's like, well, 30 oranges, right? Yeah, I think so. Do you know what I mean? Stacking them all up in a little triangle like Ferrero Rochers and walking off with them. It's like all the
Yeah,
things
you
that
could
get
like
the
have
money.
a go at making a vegan Ferrero Rocher or something. Yeah, bet someone's had a go at that. I don't get how they can make them so like expensive. Like that's the thing. It's like it probably costs like £5 for like one Ferrero Rocher or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
it only costs £2.
there's
It only costs
hardly out in
£2.
it. It's like just what even is it? It's some kind of like. I mean, it's literally like the size of a. Like it's a bit bigger than a sweet that you get in a tin of roses or Quality Street or something.
I would even describe it
Yeah.
as a sweet. It's more biscuity, isn't it? A Ferrero
Well, yeah, it's
Rocher.
like a kind of. It's a bit like that. What? Like when you have that, was it Kinder Bueno or something? Like I used to eat those at one time.
And
Where
what?
it would be like those Kinder Buenos where it was like kind of like a
Oh
bit of
yeah,
like a. It had like a kind of what was it inside like a. It was like it had this wafery thing inside.
it's
And then
white
like a sort
chocolate,
of
wasn't it?
milky kind of like thing, whatever it is. They probably had some like caramel, whatever they put inside the filling.
It's just sugar and chocolate with some more sugar and chocolate, and then some more sugar and chocolate on that, isn't it? Double chocolate doobie.
Well, yeah, there was like
Oh,
this. There was this thing on TV, like some TV program. It might have been the Food Channel, or whatever. It was called Chocky Wocky Doodah or something. It's like it's just crazy.
do
Like
you ever watch at Christmas time the cooking things that they do? And I watched one year, and it was a bird inside of a bird inside of a bird inside of a bird. And I thought that's horrible. That you've just killed like a big pile of animals to stuff them all inside of each other. It's a bit sick, isn't it?
that's really bad. Well, it depends on your ethics and all that. On the suppose. Yeah,
You
it's like
haven't
what
got
do you
any
call it, the
really, have
poor
you?
bird roast or whatever. Like,
Isn't it weird how some meats are called after the animal and other ones are not. Like
What do
cows
you
and
mean, like
cow,
you have?
beef and cow, but chicken and is the chicken.
Oh
Isn't it?
yeah, yeah. That's no. It's like you get you don't call it pig.
But you got lamb as well, haven't you? The lamb's from a lamb.
Yeah, it's like you don't say sheep lamb. No, I mean
Think we're
not sheep
getting
lamb. I
that.
mean like I mean as in you know. Oh yeah, because you call it lamb. Yeah, that's the young of the
Yeah.
young sheep. Because you get like mutton that's older, isn't it?
Mm. So it's, like the children taste better. Fucking hell. It's awful, isn't it, when you think about it? It's like it's just they've lived its life and it's looked at nothing more than a moment's experience
Yeah,
for you.
because that's what they do with like the beef, where they'll actually like make it grow as fast as possible, so they could just send it off to Nakajo as soon as possible. So it's not lived their life out. Only like a
But on
very small
animals,
fraction of it.
they're a beautiful thing, animals, when you make that connection with them, aren't they? It's like just like a friend, really. And they're all
Yeah,
potentially
because you
like
get
good
that
animals.
argument that people say like, "Oh, it's like you about the like people having pets and then but then they'll eat other animals. It's like they wouldn't eat a dog or a cat, but they eat other animals. Um, but then they'll say, well, they're different though because you can connect like with a dog and a cat. But then it's like people connect with cows and horses
Rats,
and
everything. People have
yeah,
pet rats, don't they?
well yeah, and like hamsters and gerbils and stuff.
And people get upset and they cry when something happens to them, and they'll put all the money into helping that animal when there's a huge vet's bill because they feel it they owe to the animal, but the animal that goes on the plate doesn't even get a second thought, not for a minute.
Yeah, it's like
It's
when
just a
people
lump.
care so much about like the pet cat, yet in fact, what happened right with like, yeah, the cat was like, because basically to try to get it to go to the vet or something because it was like, well, she was like kind of there's something wrong somewhere, and then but was just like wouldn't go inside the box to like carry. So yeah, so they can be like such a pain sometimes, but then they're not. They're not like kind of.
It's like I'm not
But
bothered if my cat
they'd
died
never really
of
be kind
natural
of
causes.
thankful for any of it, would they? It's like it makes you wonder why some people kind of bother so much with these animals, yet they probably don't even treat like other human beings as well. I don't know. But then they probably eat
Yeah, like
meat, so it's just like a total contradiction in a way. Like their whole
isn't
lives
there
are a
people?
contradiction.
There's people that's killed other people over animals. They've done something to the dog and they've been killed them. It's like that's how much people can get attached. And then the thing that gets me is how you can't say that same
Yeah, like
potential
they'll eat
relationship with
meat or
all
something.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah, like eat. Yeah,
It's like the dog belongs in the bottom of the stairs and the cow belongs chopped up in the fridge. It's like everything's got its place. Like it's not a thing anymore. Cows are
I
really
see.
nice animals,
Like
aren't they?
times are changing though. Like because
Yeah.
I mean, at one time they used to well, they would cook like chips in lard or something. But then again, vegetable oil isn't good for you though. I don't think. But I mean, as in like in terms of people are using less like animal products now than what they used to, like in general. Like even the people that love the meat and stuff are kind of
Yeah, if you like fried food and stuff, you're better off you're still staying in that program, and if you can't break from it, but at least you're changing to something where an animal isn't getting hurt, isn't it? Even if it's hurting you, you can live with that. It's like a contradiction in itself, isn't it? But your conscious
yeah,
is
because like
clean, isn't it?
vegetable oil and stuff. Would you say it's worse than lard then for your health?
I'd say that they're the same. It's just one's a different version of the same thing. It's like,
Yeah, but with the vegetable oil, it's just kind of it's probably better for the animals, or you would say then.
well, the way I used to look at it is, if you had the two things at a certain temperature, and one melts and the other one doesn't, the one that doesn't melt is going to be the bad one for you because it's going to do the same when it gets in your system. So if you have like a sticky lard and it's hard to melt, it's like more like wax. I don't think that'd be good.
So when I was doing the science exam or something, there was like this thing that could have, it's like if this comes up, then you need to remember there was like lipase and protease and stuff. And basically, so I thought lipase, what partly it's to do with fat or something like that. So I was thinking, well, lipase, so letter L, and then lard begins with letter L, so I kind of made that kind of connection, and I think it actually came up, and actually that came in handy. Yeah, just a kind of funny thing that kind of came to me. But yeah, you can get like vegetable oil in like a block form though, but it's disgusting stuff really. It's like, I don't know, it makes your mouth kind of dry out, and it leaves a kind of aftertaste really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you tried a little bit of oil in your mouth, it'd be disgusting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you just like drunk it out the bottle or something.
Yeah. Like I've had a little tiny sip of olive oil before. And it was like it nearly set my throat on fire. It was horrible.
Well, some people like they put drops of CBD oil in their mouth, don't they?
Yeah. Even then, you're taking the cannabis plant and you're refining it. You're doing
Yeah,
exactly
it's
the
like
same
why
as what
why
you're
not
doing
just have it in its whole form, like.
Yeah. That's where the benefits lies. Eating it in your diet and it won't even get you high at all. You'd have to eat a very lot of it to get you high. It's only when it's heated up beyond 200 degrees it becomes psychoactive.
Well, I don't see that wrong with getting a bit higher once in a while, you know. I mean, if that's as long as you're able to kind of control it.
Well, then you'd cook it, but that's like it's still recreational, really, because you don't want to be off your tits all the time. Where you?
Well, no, because you got to be like start balancing it. You want to like
it's like a mild.
stay
You could have a
grounded at
mild.
the same time, really.
Well, if you didn't cook it, you would only have, and you had a lot of it, you would only have the mild feeling of it, and it would be a longer lasting feeling. So it's probably how it's supposed to be. Why do we have cannabinoids in the brain? The brain produces cannabinoids very similar to the ones that's in cannabis. So they found out later.
Well, it's a receptor in it to.
Yeah. You've got the receptors in the brain to accept it. So why does it fit?
Yeah, because it wasn't that long ago that I found that out. Really, I mean, so that makes you wonder, like what.
Which that's symbiotic relationship. There's the physical part of it. You've got the receptors to accept what it's sending out, same as mushrooms. And all this
with like the magic mushrooms.
Yeah. If you think about that as well, say you would eat them in nature and you'd find them, it would only be for a small amount of time during the year, like for 2 weeks in a year. So it's not going to be a thing that you'd be on all the time. It'd be like a top up sort of thing, something to think about till the next time. But it's all recreational now, isn't it? Nobody takes them as a spiritual thing, but more people are. It's all just have a laugh at first, because that's just the way you're brought up, and then you hear about a drug, and that book, drugs and substances can be used for spiritualism.
I don't know if, like, I mean, why would you need a drug to learn about spiritual stuff? I mean, I thought it was all internal and all that.
Well, it is internal. It's just it opens that doorway up for you. Easy, you can do it regardless, but it's not as intense. So why have you got the receptors in the brain again if it's not supposed to be used?
I suppose.
But sometimes when you've done something like that, you bring a little bit of it through when you're normal. You look at things in a different way now. That's what every time if you've had a hallucinogenic experience, it changes things forever. In a strange way, not like nothing's different in front of you, but you're looking at it in a different way.
Different perception.
No, like a different dimension to it now that you didn't see before. Like when I've been on mushrooms and I've seen the trees, it's strange. I can't explain it, but it's just the way the wind up and down. Have this motion.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. There's someone called Ian McClan. If some of that, if space footage is all CGI, why use a pool? Okay.
Is there any such thing? Like, has anybody ever been up to space? Do you think, Jamie? Do you think there's like true space, is what we say, or do you think it's just been high altitude?
I don't know. Don't know what's up there.
Because
I
once
can
it
see
gets
someone
beyond
up
high
there,
altitude,
whatever it is.
everything looks
Twinklings of light up there. I don't know what it could be.
I mean, is there any way you could ever know if you could never get to it to know exactly what it is? It's like looking at things from afar all the time. You can never. People do that on Earth, don't they? There's funny lights that appear in certain places. It happens all the time, but nobody seems to know what they are. And that's here on Earth. So if you're looking out at them vast distances, can you ever really know what you're looking at?
Meaning about like UFOs and stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't like even the UFO thing. I don't think that many people are going to be making it up. But what they conclude from what they're seeing is influenced.
Well,
Isn't it?
it could be like some kind of orb or something.
Yeah, like part of the Earth. It's like part of it. Not.
Could be some kind of plasma discharge or something.
But they do seem to have been seen through history, don't they? Like lights in the sky. Not. If we had never seen a UFO, like before the term flying saucer came up, nobody was saying UFOs about these things, were there? It was only until it came out with Roswell and people viewing them from that point on. So all the history that shows them now, what were they saying these things were then?
Do you like sherbet then?
So what?
Sherbet. Flying saucers. Have you ever had them? Have you not had them?
Only when I'm greedy at the pictures, Jamie, because you can get lots of them in the pick and mix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want to get
I
full?
used to see them like selling like 300 in like a big tub of them.
Oh, the
But
mangoes
yeah,
are horrible.
I bet those aren't very good for you either. It's just sugar and stuff, isn't it?
It's called sugar paint, isn't it? But doesn't it just feel like polystyrene that melts in your mouth?
Yeah, and then the inside's all sugar in it, pretty much.
Yeah. And what's that space dust that people used to have? You know, when they used to the mouth, it was going cracking and making that noise. Can you remember that?
Don't know.
So there used to be this stuff called space dust, and it was like a sherbet stuff, and when you poured it in your mouth, it crackled and popped really loud. But you was only supposed to put little bits in, people used to pour the whole packet in, and it was going, you know, like making
Oh,
all
you're
these,
on about the popping candy.
yeah. Like
Sometimes they
wafting,
put
not
it in like the chocolate bars and stuff, didn't they? Where you'd have like bits of crackling going on in it.
yeah. And what's carbonated water got to do with anything? Why would people start doing that? Like, oh, I can't drink that, it's flat.
The thing is, it's like when you get like a bottle of Fanta or whatever, or a Tango or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's like if you let it go flat, it'd be like disgusting or something.
You can taste how
Because
sweet it is, can't you?
yeah, well, you taste how like fake it is. Like what they say it's, I think they said it on Fanta, it's got about like 5% orange juice or whatever. It's like really like what it's like some kind of concentrated thing in it where they had all the flavorings and stuff. So when you actually taste it for what it is, it's not that particularly nice. But when it's fizzy, I don't know if somehow the fizz kind of makes it seem more kind of refreshing somehow. I don't know.
I don't think it's refreshing at all. Years ago, when I used to, like,
well, it just gives
I
you a
remember
lot of gas, doesn't it?
was like when I have actually drank some orange pop when I've been thirsty. It's like trying to drink foam. It doesn't seem to have any weight to it. It's just all these bubbles, and it doesn't refresh us at all.
Suppose, yeah. Yeah, it's just like they filled it with like bubbles and that. I mean, what if like, so they say it's like 330 mil, and then it maybe like 150 mil of that is just gas or something.
But if you think about it, you put bubbles in it, it thins everything out, doesn't it? If half of the stuff in your mouth's only air, you can't realise how concentrated the stuff is that you're drinking. Sort of diluted with air by half as much again, isn't it?
Yeah, they could just be putting gas in to like kind of fill it out, so it's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, these vegans that, but Coke's vegans or any of the other ones. Apparently, Lilt isn't because they use some fish gelatin in it or something.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? When you use the name vegan and then you have to stick to the rules of what's a vegan, is that really a diet? Like if you say, well, now I'm a vegan, I can eat sweets, I can eat. It doesn't make it healthy. It's like to be vegan.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle choice, isn't it? Because you're choosing to consume stuff that's not been like exploited animals or whatever.
Yeah, but can't you have a diet that falls under that category of vegan, but you're not a vegan?
What do you mean?
Like, I could say I can eat vegan stuff, but I don't eat sugar. I don't eat there, so I've got a different diet to what you would consider vegan.
Yeah, because you got like whole food vegan, haven't you? Where it's sort of where they don't eat processed food.
Yeah, so if a vegan can eat sweets and I don't eat sweets, that doesn't make me a vegan, then does it? Because they're vegan, so that would make me something else. Because I'm missing stuff out that a vegan doesn't even need.
Well,
Can
vegan
eat
isn't really a diet, is it? Because
no, but if you
people
stick to
can do
them
it
rules
different
and say,
ways.
well, it can steer you into a bad diet as well by saying this is vegan because it's just a chocolate bar or something.
It's like you get these people that call themselves raw foodists, but it's like you could eat raw meat and call yourself a raw foodist, or eat raw milk or raw eggs and call yourself a raw foodist. So I call it. It's like, what would you call yourself? Like, suppose you could. Well, you just call yourself raw plant-based or whatever. That's the only thing.
Well, I would like to think more natural-based diet, like a nature diet, like only what nature provides in the way.
Yeah, I've heard this
provides.
like one that someone came up with, naturitarian or something.
We stop giving it a name. Just say I eat natural.
Yeah, it's just
stuff
all
and that.
ridiculous. All these labels. It's like fruitarian, breatharian.
I seen someone said she could do that, and then the television crew sat with her for 2 days, and she was cracking up, and she's looking really ill, and I had to stop it because people just bullshit all the time. They can't really do it. You can't go without food and things for that long. Even these yogis and things, they can't go for months without food. They can go a long time, and they can control the heartbeat and stuff like that, but they can't live forever without putting anything in your stomach.
Yeah, because when the whole heartbeat thing, that's a good thing to practice actually with the breathing and everything, because it's all connected really with. Because you can
Well, it's the same.
like slow it down so you actually kind of, when you slow your functions down, it's not, it's kind of preserving the energy, isn't it? So, but you can't really be you receiving energy from like the universe or something like that.
You might, not unless you're a little bit mad, I think. But like people just keep coming up with all these different theories, don't they? Like all these specific things. Like, how could you ever come up with you only drink like lemon tea and a certain type of leaf? Where would you even like? Where does that even come from? Like stuff like that. And the world's full of all these fad diets. Just eat this. Just
Yeah,
eat
it's
that.
like it's not natural to like just think, oh yeah, I can only eat this and only eat like that and yeah.
Do you think if
I mean, in nature you would just like, well, like we'd probably be like on the move a lot, and we'd probably just like whatever we could find. That's your meal.
but wouldn't some things you'd favour over others?
What do you mean, like for taste and things?
Well, not only but it seems to be the things that are easiest accessible are usually the nicest tasting, aren't they? Like I was watching Joe Rogan before on the one about these bears in the Yellowstone Park or something, the grizzlies. He says like they'll kill a man, like they'll kill anything. But if there's plenty blueberries, they couldn't give a shit about you. They'll just sit and eat them all day because they just love the blueberries. So there's some things
Honestly,
just
I
like
find blueberries a bit bland. But then that might just be the shop bought ones.
Yeah. But it might be because we're used to certain things as well. Not like we used to.
Well, apparently, like slow berries are a bit kind of different, like tasting. I mean,
think of this: you've got a normal diet, like how you've been brought up, and that all your food experiences of stuff that you've had from packets and television dinners and all this crap like that we've all had. And you've got all that to think of and choose from. But if you hadn't had any indoctrination from that, and you only had natural foods in front of you, like strawberries, bananas, all these things. Lettuce.
Well, even bananas aren't a natural food. They used to have lots of seeds in them.
Yeah, but let's say everything's in its natural way, how it should be. you would crave the things that you needed, I think. That the body is shouting out for. These would be the things that drive you, but because we're bombarded with all this artificial stuff, there's nothing to lead us. Like if you're suffering from iron, you'd probably fancy eating the spinach, or if you're suffering from, you'd have that vitamin C, you'd be craving oranges or tomatoes or something.
Well,
like that.
actually, rose hips are like 20 times more vitamin C than oranges, apparently. So
Yeah. But a pregnant woman craves the thing her body needs, even if it's a mad stuff, isn't it? Like some of them may need coal. My wife was marshmallows all the time. But whatever's in them, it's like a sugar that the most body's craving to make your mind say, I really want that. Because it goes after the pregnancy.
maybe it's a combination of things. Maybe it's the sugar. Maybe it's the proteins in it or whatever is in it, because there's egg stuff in it, isn't there? Egg whites, whatever.
Yeah. Like whatever's in it, the mind, the subconscious probably just getting the conscious to cry out for it.
Because you know,
Or the best.
Rebecca's away, so she said egg or something. But there's probably something that she was lacking from her diet if she hasn't really kind of if you don't really get certain nutrients, then yeah, you're gonna crave what's gonna give you that. Like, so you know, you might crave an egg if, say, you're low on protein, or if you're low on some particular nutrients, because when it is a dense form of nutrients, so
Yeah.
that might be why you crave that. That doesn't mean that your body needs it. There might be other ways of getting. It's like you might just need some like, I don't know. I mean,
It's hard to tell, though, isn't it? Like, because we are
yeah,
super it's hard. We super
maybe
indoctrinated.
hemp seeds or something like those are pretty good for you. You get probably like similar benefits from like eggs in terms of what's in them, like the fatty acids and stuff.
We can munch through hemp seeds. They're not like something you have to process. You can eat them.
Yeah, you could eat like raw, can't you? Or something.
Yeah. Same as pumpkin seeds and things like that.
Yeah, and almonds or something with it.
Yeah. I mean, some seeds won't germinate unless they've been through the digestive system. So there's a relationship between some animals
Interesting.
and seeds. And then there's the things that make that seed soft in your stomach, so it will pop open and germinate.
Yeah, because it's a soluble fiber that actually turns into a gel in the stomach.
But the stuff that you're melting off the seed with your stomach acids is beneficial to us as well, even though the seed isn't. But just them small amounts. I forgot what it is. You take a lot in, don't you? But you can't remember it all.
Yeah, it's like, well, when you get, from fruits, you get the soluble fiber, which is called pectin, which is actually beneficial to us. But probably, I bet you though that if you had pectin like that was on its own, like it probably wouldn't be very good for you. Like if it's kind of isolated.
Yeah, everything has to be.
Everything that's isolated, I don't think it's very good for you, because it's like oils when you separate them and you separate sugars, and it's just like you need the other nutrients for it to be good for you. Otherwise, it can be pretty dangerous.
If you think how people drink as well, it's all tea and coffee, isn't it? Mainly. Because when I went underwater, I didn't realise how much water. Well, I never drank water. It was always just liquids in some other form.
Well, I had the other day when I was out at like a cafe thing, whatever, and I had like this peppermint tea or something. I just
Yeah.
thought I'd try it.
There's not wrong with trying stuff, is there?
Yeah,
Well,
I
what is
usually
it?
just get water though.
Well, people think this bottled water's all right for you, as if that's any different.
Yeah,
than
I actually
tap water.
looked at the thing and it had traces of fluoride in it. So
Yeah. And minerals, it's just what's minerals. It's just the same as what's in the tap. Apart from they've got
yeah,
more.
because mineral water makes it sound good for you, but it could be like inorganic minerals.
So that means if you distill it, you're going to end up with a pile of shit left after it, aren't you? They're minerals.
Yeah, it will do. Yeah.
Like, it makes you wonder whether we're actually supposed to drink at all or just eat high water. Could you get
Yeah, I
past
was
out
thinking that like if you had melons and stuff,
Yeah,
then you wouldn't even, because that would be like a kind of complete like nutrition source or whatever if you just not complete, but like it would. I suppose it in a way you could get complete. What you do, right? If you're in nature and say because the fruit fall out the tree onto the soil beneath, yeah.
yeah,
So you wouldn't in nature you wouldn't be washing it off, would you? You just eat it as
yeah.
it is, and so you'd be getting the extra nutrients from the soil.
But then you also getting like stuff that's breaking down. You're getting bacteria and all sorts of things. That
Yeah, that's what I mean. You get like
yeah,
I've heard you get some free aminos from the soil or something like histidine and stuff like that. I don't know what benefits they could give you, but yeah.
or
Well,
we
I've
probably,
heard about that you get some bacteria that it's good for your gut and stuff like that. So all these people that are on this like SIBO thing, whatever, and yeah, that might be good for that, getting the good gut bacteria.
well, couldn't you make a gravel filter? I'd fine and finer gravel and fine and finer sand, so the water that came out of it was drinkable. Like you just drink it out of the river. If you had
So it's
like a
like a
more
filtration system, whatever.
yeah, it's only how it's done now. Really, it's just a organic way of doing it. I think people would have had things like that set up.
So talk about like water. We don't even need really to drink water because we just drink eat high water content food. So because like even in things like leafy greens, are 80 to 90% water.
Yeah,
I mean, we're about 60% water. So I mean, you think well we should probably be eating 60% and then 40% would basically 60% solid, 40% water. But the thing is, obviously, we do lose water through like things like uh, sweating and whatever,
yeah.
just breathing. And we could, and it's good to have a lot of water because it breaks the food down for you.
Well, isn't that the thing that plants produce oxygen for us? We produce carbon dioxide for them, but we both transpire water. We both pull water through our systems. So a plant does as well, isn't it? It lets the water out through its
Yeah.
leaves. Might let it out through sweat glands. So the water's traveling the same way through everything that's living, isn't it? And if you think about it as well, water's like indestructible, isn't it? You can't destroy it. And you can clean it. Doesn't matter what you do, if you distill it, you get it back to it.
Reminds me of that
Yeah.
whole like theory that they were going on about that water is its own element or something.
Have you heard the one where it's like magnetic tape? It stores all information.
I've heard about water like having memory or something like.
Yeah. So if there's all the memory in it, isn't think of God, witnesses everything, has all the memories of everything, which can't interact. Is that what people think God is? They think it's a man, but it's actually water because it's the giver of all life. And you're a little part of it, having an experience in your little water sack that you own. But later on later, you end up going back into the sea, don't you? You're in that cycle of water again.
Yeah, well, it just
Well,
reminds me of that channel. The one is not put out for ages, but you know, like block for block guy.
Yeah.
Well, he sounded like he was from your neck of the woods, actually.
Yeah, he does South Shields or somewhere he's from, wasn't he?
Well, somewhere around there, anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
Is he back?
Well, he wasn't because he came out sort of last year, didn't he? And
Yeah.
he just like disappeared because like Aaron and Tom was asking like, what happened to that? What happened to that? Block for block. I haven't seen him in ages.
Well, here's the thing, isn't it? When he was doing that, he was showing you a computer graphic of something and using that as a proof.
Yeah, like some kind of.
And that computer has graphic, and that program has to have rules typed into it, preconceived, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
curve or what. So it was just seems pointless. It's just that repetitive thing going on and on, like most flat earthers, isn't it? Just saying the same thing again and again. It's like, oh, there's no curvature. There's this, there's that. It's like,
You cannot see the curve. It's
not there.
It's always flat. And then you got that Harry Growler, you've seen him.
Yeah.
And he's like one of those that's like, yeah.
Scientist in a shed.
Dell, one of Dell's minions sort of guys.
That's what I don't take one
Parrot in his sort of water's always flat thing.
Do you think any of them could sit after going
Water's
through all
always
that?
flat apart from when you use a soda stream.
Well, water's rarely flat. It's always moving. It's always rippling. It's the worst. If I was
Yeah, because that's what your belief is a thief.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of, well, for a while he was like 50-50 on the globe flat, and then he went back to the globe. And he was saying how that there's this argument that flat earthers make that water's always flat and level or something when it's always moving, it's always in motion, so it's never actually at rest. So when what it's like it's notice how he'll say when water's at rest, it's always flat. Well, it's never really at rest, is it? There's always some kind of ripple or something in the water, pretty much. If it's on a big body of water, show me a big body of water that's at rest, and yeah, then I'll take it more seriously. That whole thing. I mean, look, if you look at like Lake Michigan, so
yeah,
there's a mirage. Crossel Lake, Michigan. But you see, that's kind of choppy actually.
The only place you'll see it flat, like it's in clear, is when Salt Lakes has got some water on them, isn't it?
Yeah, like when you see the perfect mirror reflection, and some people use that as an argument for flat Earth because how do you get a perfect? But it's like, well, no, I mean that's only on a small scale, though, isn't it? And, I mean that as in like it's a small section of the Earth, so probably wouldn't notice any kind of discrepancy or whatever.
It's like the bottom of your skin versus the top of your skin, and you're looking up. What you're going to see, it's just going to be the same, isn't it? It's like you're only in a little thin layer. You have to. It's like everybody gets these proportions, I think, way off.
Yeah, it's like when people say they should be seeing the building tilting over or something. Like, what the hell? I mean, I used to do that a bit, but it's like the whole scale thing. It just wouldn't be noticeable.
Be like what, 2 millimeters or something like that from the ground. You can get that in error just by putting stuff together.
Yeah,
Many
yeah,
times
like
build a
human
building.
error is gonna like.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell the difference really, and
Well, it's the same as that one. The only one that could possibly work, but I don't know whether it would, is like the two lines down two mine shafts, whether they get wide
yeah,
at
the
the bottom.
Tamarack mine's supposed to prove it's concave or something.
Well, that's the only
But
place you
even
could have it
that
with.
could be human error, couldn't it?
Could be, or there could be some other factor going on. You don't know, but
Yeah, because they've got like because they used like metallic things, so there was partly some kind of magnetism affecting. There was lots of contradicting results, so when they used different things.
so what do you think about the gravity with a heavy item in the feather?
What do you
Do you think
mean?
do you think they fall at the same rate in a vacuum, or do you think that's fake?
Well, what I kind of find a bit suspicious, I gotta say, is when they didn't show a continuous shot of it of them both coming down at the same time. So
Well, I've been
I don't
watching on
know.
YouTube, and there's an experiment, and Peter and Pete, they're done one, didn't they? They seen it.
No, I haven't seen that one. No, I haven't watched them for a while.
Oh, so they've got intros like where they're playing guitars and drums. It's like you just start and watch it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But they get a tube and they put a piece of copper and a nut over the copper and then pull a magnet off. Do you know what I mean? So the copper's held in place with a nut. So when he takes the magnet away, both items, the little piece of copper and the nut, fall at the same time. He says, see how the nut, the heavier item, always falls first? Well, because it's in front of the other fucking item. It has to fall first. Can't fall second because the copper can't hold the nut to the end. So I watched it and I'm wondering what I went to watch the other one, and then there's a lad who puts a vacuum, some coins and some feathers in this big long glass tube, and they both fall at the same speed when there's in a vacuum with the feathers. They just flutter down without the vacuum. But there's cuts in that as well. It isn't a continuous stream. But that's it. Something you could do. It's just a piece of perspex tubing, coins, two feathers, and just turn it. And if they fall the same, then
Well, the thing is, even if they hit the floaters, unless they're up high enough, then you could say, well, they didn't have long enough for you to be able to notice a difference in the.
Well, if you had
the
to say
time.
2 meters, 2 meters and a feather and a little ball bearing, there should be a big difference. because you do it outside the tube first, don't you? Just show the difference. The feather would flutter down, wouldn't it? But in a vacuum, it wouldn't even move. It would just drop.
Yeah, because it's not being affected.
Yeah. And if that's the case, that means nothing's fallen. There's no such thing as gravity pulling you. The world's
Well,
coming
it's
up
said
to
to
it.
have a bigger effect on more massive objects, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? If it's not having an effect on the feather's falling as fast as the heavy thing. That means that there's no effect up on it getting pulled towards the earth. Nothing's fallen. It's getting, I hate to say it, you're getting pushed from the feet upwards.
Oh yeah, the push pull thing.
Yeah. If they fall at the same speed. And that's an experiment that's easy done DIY. I might get the pump and do it eventually.
Yeah, do a bit of Harry Growler style experimentation.
Well, I'd rather do it with a bit of comedy tongue in cheek, but do it all in one shot.
It's a bit more like Peter and Pete kind of thing with the.
Yeah, sort of. But like I say, all in one shot and done right, because it's like, if they're trying to debunk the feather in the bowling ball, what they're putting a little bit of copper and a nut and then doing two nuts and saying they fall the same and things like that. It's like, do it with a feather, because a feather shouldn't really fall fast at all if it's light, buoyancy and density. But if it drops like a lead ball, then it's not just buoyancy and density, is it?
Yeah.
It's like people misspits out the experiments to favour them. It's like, I don't understand. It's like this: if they don't want to know, they just want to prove themselves right.
You're like willful ignorance or something.
Yeah, like I'm right into it now. I might look like I've got egg on my chin if I disprove myself now. We'll give that a Globebusters the due. They told the result how they seen it, didn't they, with the ring laser?
Yeah, look, ring laser gyro or something.
Yeah, something's moving, cause drift.
Well, the way that that rock clover guy, the way he interpreted it is that yeah, it is moving, and we're on the outside of it, but it's only moving in one direction, and that's a spin. But the rest of the motions are bullshit or something. Like that's what he kind of thinks. Like, so if you can imagine a spinning Earth with the say like the sun going around the Earth, so it could be like the way I could sort of see that one working is that well, you'd spin around once a day, so that would make the day, yeah. And the sun would take a year to go around you. So it would move about 1 degree per day. So when we sort of see like you'll notice that it rises in a slightly different place each day. So that could be that every time you turn and do a rotation, that the sun actually is moving a little bit. Oh no, it's just a kind of theory, isn't it?
But for all that to work, Jim, you've got to have gravity having it upon all these planets. If they're really, from our perspective, if you look at it from our perspective, yeah, if you're sitting here, if we move like it's moving, it's just a decision in the mind, isn't it? What's moving. But if you look at it this way, if the very thing that people have thought, well, you can't be on a spinning ball because everything would fly apart, why don't them rules apply to the stars that we're looking at? Because if it's all spinning, it can't be so finely tuned that all this has lasted so long without anything just getting pulled. When all them planets become in one big straight line, why doesn't it have a huge amount of pull that it didn't have before and pull one of them out of orbit? Why, when it gets to the other end, it's further away than it is from the Earth to the Sun, yet it stays at the same orbit. And it's like, is the Sun pull, like a big gas ball's pulling the heavier thing towards us because it's a bigger, heavier lump of gas. Well, what holds it back? Just, it doesn't make any sense to me. The sun and all that, like just a big ball of flames. And then you've got like what's fuel in the air to cause it to burn? You can't just burn hydrogen without air, can you? Needs oxygen. Because if it was in that atmosphere, in your atmosphere was say a flammable gas, and you struck a lighter, it would not set on fire. It would be the same as having a flammable gas on Earth. Air would become a flammable gas, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'll have to think about it more.
Well, think about if the gas doesn't set on fire on its own without oxygen. So I have a little ball of oxygen inside that gas. I can set fire to that, and it'll burn until that little ball of oxygen's burned up. So it would appear, even though it's not, if you was breathing the flammable gas, that the gas that lights would be flammable, and it's actually the gas you're breathing, but you wouldn't know that. It's about proportions, isn't it? If air is flammable, but it needs something else to make it burn, and we think it's that that's burning, and it's not, it's the other stuff.
Just seeing the chat, the collector, flat earthers, I ask your doctor if voluntary admission to a mental institution is right for you.
Only if it's on a flat Earth.
Yeah, if it's a concave Earth, then it's all right then.
Well, it doesn't really matter what shape it is. It's like the part that you own is flat, and it's all. If you found out what it was, it would look exactly the same as what it does now when you get up every morning. And travel would look the same. Everything would look exactly the same, so it doesn't matter either way, does it? Like, what was the point of it?
I think just people just want to know what the truth is or whatever, and let everyone else know what the truth is. I don't know.
Well, what if going to space beyond high altitude is all fake? It's a big industry that gets fueled by the government, by the people, doesn't it? So if it was done for that reason early on and to save the Nazis from being hung, at what point would you say it's not real? Because the amount of money that's coming in is keeping everybody in work and getting everybody excited about crap. I think of a simulation on a space thing, like where they send a probe to a planet and fly by. How do they know that's real? Like somebody who's took that away and says we'll put it in our rocket can be sending data back to them, can't they? And they're all convinced. I don't think everybody's in on it. I think very few people in on it. Otherwise, it'd have to be massive, wouldn't it? You couldn't keep a secret with loads of people knowing it.
Yeah. Probably gonna like
And the best,
get off soon.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, so there's talk a bit about 9/11 before I get off, because we talked about that earlier. So what are your thoughts on it all?
Well, it's just a good thing to get the public where you want them because it's an emotional matter. You know, then poor people and all this stuff.
Yeah,
And it's when you think about what were they investigating in
call it
that
trauma-based mind control or something.
well, not only that, but if you think about they were getting investigated when they're for the what was it, 44 billion was missing.
Well, whatever it
And
was, it was a big number.
in total, that would end up being that, but I don't think that was the amount that was getting investigated. But that's the total amount gone with Bush's administration. But when that building 7 went down, they were investigating all the paperwork was in there, and the other place was the Pentagon, the very place that got
Yeah.
hit. And then you had Bush's that they had a running a simulation of the very same scenario that was happening at the time. That's why the planes didn't take any notice that it was a real attack, didn't they? And the person who was in charge of that was Bush's brother. It's like they're all related, all doing this shit and all responsible, all making money out of it all. So think of 40 billion or 44 billion or whatever it is. If you can get the people to just turn against each other because they're coming in from Mexico, if you let all the people in from Mexico, they probably still wouldn't spend that 44 billion. You could let them live there and say, come on in. But it's good to take the 44 billion and turn everybody against them. Or that 44 billion's been into huge amounts of black ops. It can't be accounted for. But if you based on emotion and like how dare you say that about them people, shit like that. That's like the mind control thing, isn't it? It's like that's how it all operates. It's fake as fuck. You can't follow people from a distance, jumping out of a window and watching them wave and scream all the way to the ground. Because if I get me P900 and I shine into the moon and I move off it a little bit, I can't even get it back into focus. I've got to like zoom all the way back out and then find it again and then zoom all the way back in. So that nobody could film stuff like that. Not as clear as that. It's all CGI'd. I'm not saying the footage of the planes where they didn't hit it. It was just an explosion. So easy to pull off.
Yeah, it's just that on Twitter there was someone that, well, basically I put a thing on, and then someone replied to it about the steel wouldn't need to melt because the heat would cause it to, it would not be able to support the weight above it or something like that.
What's a plane made out of? Made out of aluminium, isn't it? Or aluminum if you're American. Yeah. And you can't cut through steel with aluminium. So just a plane.
What they're saying is that the heat caused it to be able to it wouldn't be able to support the. So we have to believe somehow that there's so much heat that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Well, there's two obvious ones, isn't there? There's one where the footage she says Building 7's went down, it's behind her, and that's a news footage from the BBC, from CNN, isn't it? The reporter. You're saying that?
What's
We've had
that?
before. She says it's a footage where she says buildings World Trade Center 7's gone down. While she's saying it, it's still stood behind her. It hasn't gone down. Then it goes down later on. So she's saying it's
Yeah,
gone down before.
Like predictive programming or something.
No, it's not predictive program. It was while it was unfolding. The two
Or
towers went
whatever
down.
it is,
She
it's
says,
like where they tell you
well, that happened.
before
So
it happens.
it was the same with JFK, wasn't it? It was released in Italy that he had been shot before he had even been released here, like 10 minutes before he'd been shot. And the same with that, like saying the tower went down before it went down. There's that one, and there's the live footage from CNN where the plane has that glitch with the CGI behind the tower that's in front of it, behind it. The wing like goes behind it, and it's the big.
Oh yeah, it looks like it disappeared or something.
Yeah, it's a glitch. It's like the programs recognized the wrong thing and put it wrong, done it wrong. Because I didn't just look at the documentary. I went to the proper CNN footage, and I got it up and watched it from the official CNN thing, and so it wasn't a conspiracy thing, and it done exactly the same. So they're two big fucking smoking guns, as far as I'm concerned, not red flags, smoking guns.
Two smoking towers.
But it's obvious, isn't it? Like you go and attack a country that had nothing to do with it. So these Arabs do it, and then they go and blow Iraq up. Like, what did the Iraqis have to do? Then you say the one with her saying they were chucking babies on the floor and letting them die, and it's the royal family of Kuwait. Their daughter says it. She's just making it up, all to start the war. It's all about just money, just a big industry, big game.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I had some kind of reply to it. So this guy called Mr. Well, he's just called Globalist or something. Okay.
Yeah. We'll be watching your mind.
Never forget the basics, that steel doesn't need to melt, that heat weakens the strength of steel, and if there is sufficient erosion of that strength, then the steel can't hold the weight above it and it collapses.
And does that mean a tower can fall at free fall speed? Because it still has to push the stuff out of the way. Do you know what I mean? And then towers went down as fast as you could drop something next to it. Then there was thermite found in it, wasn't there? And it just goes on and on. It's ridiculous. Then you
Yeah,
see the
because
footage of
the structure and everything would have made it impossible for it to have fallen like that. It had to have been like controlled demolition or something. You know.
Well, you've got the slight 45-degree cuts, haven't you, on the beams? We've seen that. So what happens is when it blows, the 45-degree cuts make it slide to the side slightly and down. So it just drops into its own footprint. To do that, to keep that, then towers falling straight down is extremely hard. Even the biggest towers in the world at the time, weren't they, just about?
Yeah.
Like a little thing, imagine it, a little thing is easy to drop down into its footprint. The bigger it goes up, the harder and harder it gets, because it has to be perfectly equal, because if one side goes before the other, even if it collapses at the top, it has a knock-on effect. It would sort of bend and roll over and start to curl as it falls, and then you just probably have half of it left. Well, that just went down super quick, didn't it? Over and done, clean it up, get it away, ship to China, get rid of the evidence.
Yeah.
Let's crack on. Let's get the industries going again. Let's get some war. Just keep on shooting. All right, and Jim, I want to get off. Are you there?
No.
All right, I'll see you later.
Yeah, see ya. Alright, so we got Lucy Miller in the chat. How you doing? Right, gonna call it a night. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Should be back on Monday, perhaps. So yeah, I'll let you all get off and enjoy the rest of it. Anyway, I enjoy the rest of your day or night, whatever. Right. Right. Take care until next time. Peace out.